In Brooklyn, Connecticut, Route 169 is closed between Mason Road and Anderson due to some low-hanging wires, and a tree came down in Columbia on 87. That's closed in both directions at Lake Road. Here's meteorologist Bob Cox with the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Periods of rain and showers continue at times this afternoon with a chance for a heavy downpour or thunderstorm. It's breezy, warm, and very humid with a high near 80 and dew points in the 70s. Winds south at 12 to 20 with some higher gusts. A cold front comes through this evening. Behind that, we'll see clearing tonight. It turns a bit less humid, lows in the low 60s. A nice sunny day Tuesday, highs in the low 80s to about 85, with comfortable humidity, dew points in the upper 50s and low 60s tomorrow. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, lows in the low 60s. Partly sunny, warm, and increasingly humid again Wednesday, with the chance for a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon or evening. Highs in the low 80s to about 85. Thursday and Friday look partly sunny, very warm and humid with the chance for a shower or thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Good day for the financial markets so far. The Dow's up over 600 points, and NASDAQ's up nearly 600, and the S&P is up 117. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you're looking for a great price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire, where you always get the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires. But it doesn't end there, because Town Fair Tire gives you free services for the life of your Falcon tires. More free services than any other tire dealer. That's why we say nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal, and I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Wedding season is here, so make sure those invitations are in the budget, especially if you have to fly somewhere.
It's travel that becomes the biggest budget killer.
Wealth advisor Craig Bolano says you can save money by grabbing the wedding hotel room rate and by passing on buying a new outfit.
And ladies, they care about whether you go or not. They're not worried about re-wearing a dress.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hi, this is Stu Leonard. My wife Kim and I lost our 2-year-old son Stewie to a drowning accident. Do you know what we learned? If everyone is watching, no one is watching. Don't take your eyes off your child. When Kim and I are around the water with our grandsons, our phones are down and our eyes are open. Be safe. Phones down, eyes open. Learn more at stewietheduck.org.
Does your morning start the same way every day? You wake up, walk into the bathroom, look into the mirror, and think, wow, this bathroom really needs an update. Then it's time to visit Modern Plumbing Supply. Our 8,000 square foot showroom is filled with hundreds of beautiful faucets, sinks, vanities, toilets, and so much more. Update your bathroom with Modern Plumbing Supply. And the only thing you'll have to worry about when you look in the mirror is your hair. Modern Plumbing Supply showroom on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio.
Reese is on the radio. Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! Happy Monday! All of you scallywags, nutmeggers, conversationalists, investigative journalists, and no one is going to forget about you haters. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. That's right, and away we go. I love it. We had a wonderful weekend this weekend. I want to thank everyone who played a role in that. You know who you are. But it would be wrong if I don't show you that love. And that, of course, let's start with TJ Duarte. Mama Duarte. Stepfather Charles and all of his friends who were there at his meet and greet. We got there, but I feel bad because I felt like an absentee godfather because I was enamored with conversation. Adam 12 has been on the job. Gino has been on the job. And we have just literally been scrambling, getting all of this information on this hot story. By the way, I just want to say, Melissa, if you're out there, if you're listening, answer my phone call. Just help us get to the bottom of this. That's all I'm saying. Just help us get to the bottom of this. If you're out there and you're listening, help us. There's nothing to do with you. I want to talk about, can I get some housekeeping out of the way? I know you're waiting feverishly. Get some housekeeping out of the way. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Pease. Went to check them out in their new ice cream parlor. I had a thing called Brookie Dough. As soon as I saw it, I went, I know there's cookie in it, but what's the BR for? It turns out it's brownies, ladies and gentlemen. Brownies. I wasn't a big brownie guy growing up, but Mr. Pease has changed my mind as long as there's ice cream involved. Brookie Dough. Check them out, Mr. Pease in Bristol. Thank you for introducing that to me. We went to go check them out. We also, Southern Tree, we filmed our second episode of Family Dinner with Reese and Roseanne. And yes, folks, I ate collard greens. That's correct. I had collard greens. I also had ribs, fried chicken, and macaroni and cheese. Yes. It was for what they call the homecoming over there at Southern Tree and Waterbury. We'll talk about them as well. And as you all know, what we're trying to do here at the program, I'm doing a little thing separately from dinner, Family Dinner with Reese and Roseanne. We're doing something separate in sort of like just quick reels. We want to introduce folks to new businesses in and around town. Mr. Pease. To get that right. Mr. Pease, they just opened up, and we went there. We're doing this little thing called Taking Care of Business, from, of course, the famous song, where we just want to, promote those folks and let people know about these new businesses around. We want to promote everybody in Connecticut and show them some love. So if you don't know that they're here, you can come to Reese on the radio because I'll be checking them out everywhere in Connecticut. And I'll ask them politely, hey, do you mind if I post a picture or maybe a quick video of your business? If they say yes, we'll post it. And I think Mr. Pease has already received a little more than 5,000 views since yesterday. We just posted it yesterday afternoon. It's already up to 5,000 views. So I hope that helps. And that's our job. We're trying to help the local businesses around here. And anybody else who's starting up. Southern Tree is another one. And that's, boy, we had such a great time with them. So let me get to the thing that everybody is waiting for. You watched the video that I posted on Saturday about this. And if you're confused, I don't blame you. You have every right to be confused about this story because it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And it can be fixed. Don't leave us with suspicious. Don't drag us through all of this and then blame us for your errors. That's my point. Don't make the mistake and then when we catch it, say it's our fault for reporting it. All we did was our due diligence. This is a tragic case where a police officer and his girlfriend were killed. Her 3 babies are without a mother. And as journalists do, they follow up on the information. I know that for the rest of you, you just report, what happened. But when we found out that the person driving the vehicle that killed the off-duty officer and his girlfriend was an illegal, in this atmosphere, it doesn't bear repeating that you have to investigate further. You didn't want to, so we did. Nobody wanted to ask the questions, and it was right in your face. A warrant was released. The story was released in the Connecticut Mirror. People saw the story, so the unredacted driver's license number in the story. Only thing that people were saying was, remember, as Seyo Secunjanen's story is embedded in our conscience, we see that driver's license number, and everybody with an ounce of integrity or a brain says, driver's license number? They reported she's an illegal. Are you telling me again? In the heightened sensitivity of Seyo Secunjanen, you don't think that anybody was going to grasp that? The Connecticut Mirror didn't. Not because they were trying to cover it up. It's just that maybe they didn't want to follow up. The person was arrested. They are in jail. They moved on. But for the rest of us, we were saying, wait a minute, that's odd. So we look into it. The Connecticut Sentinel, one of the only people who did, and Blue Lives Matter piggybacking off of the Connecticut Sentinel. And in doing that, instead of saying, oh, we messed up, they did something far worse. Why? We'll explain.
Good evening. An innocent New Britain, Connecticut woman, innocent, has been receiving death threats after being identified as an undocumented immigrant connected to a fatal crash and being accused of illegally registering to vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, if Melissa Ramirez is receiving death threats, there should be a police report on that, and the perpetrators should be caught and found, or found and caught, and taken into custody and charged with said crime. According to the New Britain Police Department, who we contacted about said death threats by the Secretary of the State, that one's for you, Dan, there was no record of it. The Secretary of the State made an open claim that an innocent woman was receiving death threats, yet no police report was filed for days. By the way, a police report has now been filed. Anybody want to make a wild guess? Take a wild guess who filed it? Yes, we did. We did. Adam 12 went down to the New Britain Police Department and filed a complaint and also a welfare check to make sure that Melissa Ramirez, the innocent woman, was okay. Secretary of State didn't do it, but we did. Odd. Strange. But, okay. Fine. Secretary, what else?
Now, were these allegations made after a thorough review of the case by investigators?
Yes. The investigators on the scene, the Danbury Police Department, who wrote the affidavit and the signed warrant. They are the investigators. It was verified by them. But the Secretary of State flat out lies in her next sentence.
By court of law? No. It was a Facebook post. You heard me, a Facebook post.
A Facebook post of the actual warrant filled out by the Danbury Police Department. That is 100% factual. What Stephanie Thomas said is a flat-out lie, an irrefutable one, I might add. Because we checked the record, and Blue Lives Matter and the Connecticut Sentinel altered nothing. Not one thing. Which now moves us to the Secretary of the State's second lie.
A manipulated image by an outlet that honestly my 83-year-old mother at one glance would have known it was false.
Apparently, you have completely insulted your 83-year-old grandmother because she would have noticed nothing. Everyone would have known for certain, even you, Secretary, that nothing was manipulated. That is sad. But we understand why it was said. We'll get to that in a minute. The Secretary continued.
And this should alarm everyone, regardless of political party. The facts in this case are proven and well documented.
That's the only thing she said that was true. They are well documented by the Danbury Police Department. That is the root of all of this. That is exactly what was reported by the Connecticut Sentinel, and therefore further reported by Blue Lives Matter, and then reported here on the Reese on the Radio program. The only people here who are telling the truth are those folks. The only one lying is in the video I play for you now. Here's more.
Melissa Ramirez of Stamford, the defendant charged in connection with the July 13th crash that killed an off-duty Bridgeport police officer, is not and has never been registered to vote in Connecticut. Now, the voter registration record circulating online belongs to a different person entirely.
Here's what we find interesting. With 3.6 million people in Connecticut, I argued last week that it would be weird for two people named Melissa Ramirez to have the same date of birth. After searching public records, as many in the media did, they failed to mention one thing about the alleged innocent woman named Melissa Ramirez. And that is, according to the telephone number and according to the voter records, that Melissa Ramirez, the alleged innocent woman, has a third name. That name is Romano. Weirdly enough, the same third name of the illegal involved in the fatal crash on July 13th. I'll ask anybody to check the odds on that one, that someone with all three, or at least 3 out of 4 of the names, and an address that's associated with New Britain on the illegals info. I'm just finding that weird. But anyway, okay. Secretary of State continued.
Another Melissa Ramirez, a United States citizen who lives in New Britain, who is legally registered to vote in Connecticut. But despite this, screenshots of this wrong Melissa Ramirez, her voter registration record altered, was circulating online and falsely suggesting that she was the Stanford defendant.
Who was responsible for that? Who is the person responsible for that? Was it the Sentinel? Was it Blue Lives Matter? Was it the Connecticut Mirror? Was it the Danbury Police Department? So that's never mentioned by the Secretary of the State. I wonder why. By the way, that part gets even crazier when I reveal the obvious, but give me a minute.
That misinformation was then amplified online, and this is the bad part. It was...
Whoa. What was the bad part? It was manipulated online. I mean, it was amplified online. Again, facts never changed. This is what was given to us by the Danbury Police Department. But hold on, it gets worse. Let's find out from the Secretary how worse it got.
Repeated by elected officials and news organizations before anything had ever been investigated.
The only person who is investigating here is the Danbury Police Department. It was repeated by elected officials because they trusted the Danbury Police Department with the investigation. The affidavit, some 9 to 10 pages long, doles out exactly how the police department came to believe that they were one and the same and added the driver's license to the warrant. More on that in a moment.
Let alone proven. Danbury police have publicly confirmed that she was mistakenly identified
In a Facebook post. That's all. A Facebook post. Has the Danbury Police Department reissued another warrant with the correct information, removing the so-called innocent Melissa Ramirez from the warrant at all? We'll wait, because it hasn't.
It has no connection whatsoever to the criminal case. My office reviewed the statewide voter registration system, and we confirmed that the Stanford defendant has never been registered to vote in Connecticut. In this age of artificial intelligence, we know this. Images can be manipulated.
She makes the claim again. Images can be manipulated. Images were not manipulated. There is no evidence to support that at all. Damn it. Okay. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish this because there's a lot more to get into. Stand by. It's Reese on the radio.
Let's be real. With Trump in the White House, times have been tough. But in Connecticut, thankfully, we've had a governor who put his foot down and protected us from the chaos. When Donald Trump cut health coverage, Lamont capped insulin costs, canceled medical debt for working people, and restored the health care funding our families depend on. Now he's working towards universal health care. While ICE creates chaos nationwide, Governor Lamont's passed laws banning ICE from our schools and places of worship.
ICE, go home. We're keeping Connecticut safe without you.
And as Trump cut taxes for billionaires, Governor Lamont's cutting taxes for the middle class, with new plans to make sure big corporations paid their fair share.
And we're trying to make life a little less expensive for working families in the middle class.
With Trump in the White House, we need a governor with the experience and the backbone to fight back. That's Ned Lamont.
I'm Ned Lamont, candidate for governor, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ned for CT. Approved by Ned Lamont.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
And now, a WTIC news update.
77 degrees with heavy rain in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Rain not going away yet anyway. Downpours and flooding are in the offing for most of today. A front will move through, kick out the precipitation and the humidity for a little while anyway. Bob Cox will be by with the forecast details coming up. 2 people have died from the cyclospora outbreak. First deaths in the U.S. related to the microscopic parasite. The Michigan Health Department says the 2 had underlying health conditions. The boil water advisory for Waterbury remains in effect for now. They finally fixed those 2 water mains that broke last week. They're just awaiting the test results from the water there before they will lift the advisory. Authorities still working to determine if the body found in the West River in New Haven over the weekend is that of the 13-year-old who went missing last week. King Best entered the river in the early morning hours of July 30th, was not seen again. The medical examiner has been conducting an autopsy. 2 Republican senators who threatened to block acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche's bid to lead the Justice Department say they'll now vote to advance the nomination. The announcement today ends an impasse over plans to create a fund to compensate allies of President Trump. WTIC News Time, 2:31. Here's Bob with the forecast.
Periods of showers and rain continue out there at times this afternoon with a chance for a heavy downpour or thunderstorm. It's breezy, warm, and humid with a high near 80 degrees. Still some potential flooding in parts of the area when some of these heavy downpours come through today. A cold front arrives this evening. Behind that, we'll see a clearing trend tonight with a decrease in the humidity, lows in the low 60s. Looks like a nice day Tuesday. Sunny, highs in the low 80s to about 85 with fairly comfortable humidity. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, lows in the low 60s. Partly sunny, warm, and more humid again Wednesday with the chance for a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon or evening. Highs in the low 80s to about 85. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up over 620 points. NASDAQ's up 2%. S&P is up 111. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Babbel proudly presents the Sheep Cheese Fiasco.
Cute market. Ooh, cheese. Let's get cheese. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Hola. Quiero una oveja pequeñita.
¿Una oveja pequeñita?
Sí.
Bueno, pues tengo como 20.
Oh, no. But they're cute.
Don't let your Spanish fool you. Avoid bringing home the farm with Babbel, the award-winning language learning app.
Can you make us some cheese, please? Oh, cheese. You're not cheese.
Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will have you speaking conversationally in as little as 3 weeks.
Yes. Oh, you're so sweet.
Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's 50% off at BABBEL.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're in Hartford and caring for a loved one with Medicaid or is eligible for Medicaid, get paid starting today. Freedom Care has already helped over 162,000 families get the care they deserve, with 97% satisfaction and more than 8,000 5-star reviews. If you have Medicaid and are 65 or older, you need to hear this. You may qualify to choose a caregiver you already trust, a family member who lives with you, can start getting paid to care for you. No agencies, no strangers, just someone you know, helping with meals, medication, bathing, mobility, and more. This service isn't for later, it's for right now. It's 100% free to you through Medicaid, and caregivers get paid after their shift. Find out if you qualify today. Call 860-777-1597. That's 860-777-1597. Don't wait. Call 860-777-1597 now. Again, 860-777-1597. Freedom Care. Get paid to care, starting now.
Freedom Care. We're here for
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio. I'll fast forward through this video. It's just a lot of stuff to cover, so I'm sorry we had to stop, but we have a clock that we are always sort of measured by in order to get this out there. By the way, thank you for noticing the little off thing with the computer. I got to figure it out. It's all right. Anyway, Stephanie Thomas continued.
Public officials have every right to ask hard questions about our elections. Journalists should scrutinize government. We expect that. It's what we signed up for.
It's what we did. It's what we did. You made a mistake. We scrutinized you for it.
And Connecticut is better for it.
Not now. Not now. Because in this diatribe, you defamed Blue Lives Matter and the Connecticut Sentinel and others. You said that they manipulated documents. That never happened. So you're not better for it. Scrutinizing you caused you to get into a defensive mode and then spread lies. That's what you did. Provable lies. Dan Haar, the Connecticut Insider, also said the same thing in his reporting. That Dan Berry was the one that made the mistake that caused all of this. You can be upset about what people did with the information, but they're only responding to the information that was provided. Everyone should have got out in front of it. Instead, the defensive mode, and then the blame game. We screwed up. It's your fault for not asking us about it. Ridiculous. That's okay. It gets better.
But asking questions is different from making accusations. Verification must always come first. You cannot skip the fact-finding process.
Let's talk about that, Madam Secretary of the State. As I told you, senators contacted your office. They sent you an official letter. It was spread all through media. And because they never reported it, doesn't mean it wasn't sent. Just because no one decided to cover the fact that Republicans were looking into this and were asking, they did not accuse, they asked that your office and anyone who was involved was certain that this woman was not someone who was registered to vote, that this woman, who they say had a driver's license, was not registered to vote and did not vote in 3 elections. To then come out and say, hey, nobody asked me, and to think that because it wasn't printed in the media, there'd be no evidence of it. Well, there's a reason for that. Because you folks already think that if the mainstream media doesn't report it, it never happened. But it did. And again, anyone can look that up. Anyone can. Senator Sampson and Senator, what was it? Who was it? Goodness gracious. Harding. Yes, Senator Harding. I apologize. I should have remembered that. Senator Harding and Senator Sampson both sent a letter asking for it to be looked into. It was ignored. Nobody printed that they were asking questions. They called it a conservative or Republican witch hunt or conspiracy theory. How? What evidence is there of that? Everything I've explained to you is, again, verifiably true. Danbury Police Department did. And I'll go further into that in a second, because this is the part that really sums all of this nonsense up. But I want to finish with the secretary.
Make a reckless allegation and then call it oversight. Several elected officials questioned Connecticut's voter rolls in our office without actually contacting our office.
Another lie.
They did not ask us a question
Lie.
before announcing an answer. Had they contacted us, we would have told them immediately.
Lie.
That the Stanford defendant had never been registered to vote in Connecticut and that the record being circulated belonged to someone else entirely.
You had 36 hours from the letter being written and sent to you. 36 hours. You didn't respond to them. You responded with this.
Every false accusation about our voter rolls chips away at public confidence in elections.
Being able to vote with a credit card does that, my dear. I mean, for crying out loud, I wouldn't put it past this state if they allowed you to vote with a Blockbuster video card. But I digress.
Making it harder for Connecticut residents to distinguish fact from fiction.
Seo Sekunjanen and the ability that he had 2 years after he entered the country illegally under false pretenses and a false name, got a driver's license, folks. Entered the country in 1997, had a valid driver's license by 1999. Was able to renew it several times, even once in 2018 when he was placed on the voter rolls. Spare me the integrity of our elections debate.
That's exactly why election officials insist on evidence, verification, due process, and not assumptions driven by headlines or politics. So today, I'm calling on every elected official, media outlet, organization, online account that shared or amplified this false information to publicly correct the record.
No. You first. No. I'm defiantly telling you, No. I'll go one step further. Hell no. You first. You started it. Fix it. We have no obligation to change a thing. You started this.
Please remove this innocent woman's personal information from circulation.
No. You first.
And state clearly that the Stanford defendant has never been registered to vote in Connecticut. We cannot express our allegations loudly and then correct it quietly.
Take your own advice, ma'am.
And frankly, we all need to do better.
Looking at you. Still looking at you.
Our democracy, our country deserves better.
Our republic does.
Thank you for listening.
It was our pleasure, ma'am. It was absolutely our pleasure. Now let's get to the meat of all of this and why all of this really, really ticks a lot of people off. On July 13th, incidentally, my son's birthday, at some 2:40 in the morning, this accident claims the life of two individuals, an off-duty police officer and his girlfriend. The perpetrator, again, is Melissa Ramirez, born July 4th, 1999. The police officers provided us with a lengthy affidavit, one which I hold in my hands. I have it right here. They detailed the investigation from the time of the incident until they contacted Melissa Ramirez, trying to search locations where she was, what home she was in, calling her husband or boyfriend, whatever the case is, some guy named Junior. Lengthy affidavit. And on the date of her arrest, July 24th, after 2 p.m., a warrant that was signed 11 days after the incident, the driver's license remained. An NCIC collect database confirmed by a police officer who took the name. One officer takes the name. What's your name? Melissa Ramirez. Another officer gets that information. What's her name? Melissa Ramirez. Date of birth, what? 1999, July 4th. A second officer looking in, NCIC, the collect program. Every officer has it when you get pulled over to ensure that you are who you are. You say you're driving without your license. You know what? I apologize, man. I left my wallet at home. Okay, what's your name, sir? I'll check in the system to be certain that you are you, because it's going to have a description of who you are. Fine. Yeah, my name is such and such. I'm so-and-so. Goes in and he looks, and he comes back with the name. Yep, got her, driver's license. Now, I don't know whether or not the NCIC collect program shows the physical driver's license with the picture or photograph of said individual. But everything that I searched says it does. Says that the police officer can see the driver's license. Now, unless that's false, I mean, nobody's ever suggested to me, Reese, I don't know, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not the case, but okay. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Okay. But the officer who looked it up then comes to the hospital and questions Ramirez because she has got broken ribs, a couple of contusions to the face, bit her tongue. She's receiving hospital care. The officer who looked her up is looking at her. And again, folks, 11 days to do this investigation. We get a warrant with her driver's license on it, the one that they found on the date of the incident. It's never removed. There's no further investigation that says, okay, not the same person. Remove that from the details of the affidavit. This is a sworn affidavit. This is supposed to be clean, clear. We can't show that we botched the case. We got a dead cop and his girlfriend, the mother of 3, with an illegal at the driver's seat. We can't botch this. They got 11 days. Are you telling me that the Danbury police officers are the Keystone Cops? Make it right. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Make it right. If it's wrong, make it right. That's all. I'll go one step further before we take a break. Want to make me feel better? How about this? We know what Melissa Ramirez, the person who caused this accident killing the officer and his girlfriend, we know what she looks like. Show us a redacted version of the innocent Melissa Ramirez. Let's take a picture of her. Redact everything on the driver's license. Prove to us that, at least show the birth date. Prove to us that the person is not one and the same. Story over. But other than that, story's on you, not us. Take another break. We'll be back. More news, more views. Plus, I'll take your phone calls if you want to on this. 860-522-WTIC.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You see, this is why I leave it to the smartest audience in the land. And that is this WTIC audience. Don't ever let anybody tell you different. You know, all you have to do is just put it out there, and I rely on you to say it. Zach just sent me a text message on Facebook. He says, It does show a photograph, 100%. As long as it's through Connecticut, it's their DMV-issued license photo. Collect is literally pulling the DMV record and will be exactly what they show on their end. And I would assume that because, think about it. If you're pulling over somebody and they're a wanted fugitive, considered armed and dangerous, right? You can check in and you can say, hey, are there any active warrants? You can call it in. But the purpose of that computer is to be able to do that on your own. That's the whole purpose. Now, again, that's just me talking. I could be wrong. Daniel V. says the NCIC is a national system. It doesn't matter if the driver's license is from California. Now, I do not know that. Now, I don't know that. But again, Adam 12 is a cop. And he knows that system very well. And he's confirmed. And so did the New Britain Police Department. Because in my hands, or as Russ would say, my formerly nicotine-stained fingers. And I can say that because technically mine are. Anyway, let me read a line from it, from the New Britain Police Department. It should be noted that the Melissa Adam is speaking of is allegedly the one who is arrested for the fatal motor vehicle accident. That's what they wrote. Now, I asked for clarification. What? What are you talking about? No, they're saying what you think they're saying. By the way, come on, media, scurry. Get on the phone and call them. Let's make sure. By the way, I have the address in New Britain, the one that's in here, that's based upon the information on the driver's license. Yeah, this is the address I went to. I didn't just go there. I have it on film. I was there. Adam was there. Sam the man on the street was there. Sam the man on the street was filming. He filmed me talking to the occupant of the apartment that's listed here. A Dominican woman who does not speak English was there. They did not know who I was talking about. Oh, and to back up my claims, let's read what the police department said here. No contact was made with Melissa there at that address. A past phone number was found for Melissa, however, upon attempting to call, the line was no longer active. So they checked the current number, they checked the current address, they checked the past number. Nothing. I wonder why that is. I wonder why. But don't worry, folks. Don't worry. I'm never, ever going to leave you hanging for too long. The bombshell is coming. The real bombshell is coming. And as soon as we get our little verification, just take a second. Just a little bit. Then it all comes crumbling down. And boy, do we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot. On Saturday, Gino got some information that I now have in my possession. Then Adam got some information that's in his. The Connecticut Sentinel has got a report coming out. We're waiting for them. I don't want to get ahead of them. This is really their baby. They deserve this more than me. They deserve all of the work that they're doing. God, they did all of the legwork here. God bless them for it. God bless them for it. Now, I told you folks a long time ago, and I'm talking to you, media folks, been telling you this for a long time. You don't want to do the job, that's okay. We're not going to complain about you anymore. That's not what we do. You do what you do. And a reporter said to me, I just report the news. And I said, that's the problem. That's the problem. Because reporting the news means you're not reporting the truth. Nobody needs the news. Anybody can do that. You can get some kid with a newsie hat to scream that on a street corner. A story like this deserves the truth, not the news. This is a investigation into whether or not these two women are the same and what would lead the Danbury Police Department, with all of the resources at their fingertips, to make this kind of mistake and to let it drag on for 11 days. From the day of the incident to the day of the warrant, still have a driver's license for a woman that you now claim has nothing to do with it. And yet, we've got no official document that says that the driver's license has been removed. Yeah, and it's for one of their own. Ain't that weird?
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
3 o'clock Hartford, temperature 78 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Flood watches and warnings are posted across Connecticut as rounds of rain continued to pelt the state. Several state roads were shut down either due to flooding or down trees and power lines. In Naugatuck, the fire department there reported a section of roadway between Rubber Ave and Etna Street was closed, or at least compromised, due to an issue with a storm sewer. On the heels of two other water main breaks last week, Waterbury experienced some flooding. Street closures were reported along the shoreline as well in Bridgeport and in Fairfield. We'll have the WTIC Weather Center forecast coming up. Early voting for next week's primaries is underway in Connecticut. Runs through Sunday. Incumbent Democrat Ned Lamont on the ballot, facing challenger State Representative Josh Elliott for the party nod in November. Lamont says it's important to take your right to vote seriously.
250 years ago, we had a revolution. A lot of that was about the right to vote. No taxation without representation. Not everybody had the right to vote, but every day we've tried to make sure that people get that right, expand those rights, and make it easier for people to vote, make it easier for people to vote with integrity.
Check your town. Your early voting location may be different than your actual election day polling place. You can also choose to vote by mail. It's the first year for universal no-excuse absentee voting, that is, in Connecticut. Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche has taken a step toward his confirmation. He has responded to the requests of two GOP senators who held up the vote, primarily over the anti-weaponization fund pitched by President Trump. Here's correspondent Jonathan Carl.
Blanche released written statements saying the fund is rescinded and shall, quote, have no force or effect. And in a second statement, Blanche affirmed that another provision of Trump's settlement with the IRS, that he has immunity from audits for any past tax returns, will apply only to Trump, his sons, and the Trump Organization.
More from correspondent Catherine Falders.
He was not going to get the votes. He needs the votes for his nomination then to advance to the full Senate floor. So this is a hurdle that he obviously needed to clear. It appears that he will clear it. The hearing is scheduled for tomorrow morning, but then he needs to be confirmed by the full Senate.
The Iran warning causes President Trump to relent, as we hear from correspondent Mary Bruce.
Prior to Trump's announcement, Iran warned regional countries of harsh retaliation should the U.S. follow through on its threat to target Iranian energy facilities. That warning sparked Saudi Arabia's leadership to publicly urge the White House to de-escalate. The Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman speaking with President Trump. The president then calling off those planned strikes.
Wildfires destroyed hundreds of homes in Spokane, Washington. That's where correspondent Alex Stone is.
Authorities are calling it the worst natural disaster the region has ever seen. More than 7,000 acres burning. Firefighters racing in from several states and as far away as Australia. But overnight, crews on the front lines reporting no containment. Home after home burned to the ground. Residents and their family members are coming back to find what's left.
And UConn women's basketball coach Gino Auriemma is bringing back one of his legendary former players to his coaching staff. The university announcing today Bloomfield native Nikesha Sales is joining the staff. A 1998 UConn grad, Sales is the school's all-time leading scorer when she graduated. She currently ranks 7th. Sales played 9 years in the WNBA for the Orlando Miracle Connecticut Sun franchise, averaging over 14 points, was a 7-time All-Star. Sales has previously coached at UCF and Georgia. WTIC News Time is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. We've got in Southington Route 322, that's closed at Old Mountain Road due to a tree in the road there. The rain has pretty much wiped out the usual midday road work we see around here. In Middlebury, 64 is closed at Upper Whittemore due to a tree down. And they've still got that sinkhole down in New Haven at Legion Ave and MLK Boulevard. Right lane there has been closed for about a couple of weeks now as they try to work on that. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Cloudy and very humid for the rest of this afternoon into early this evening. There will be a couple of showers and even a heavy thunderstorm around as well. Some of those storms can lead to flash flooding, especially in urban areas, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that. The high this afternoon, 79. Then we turn out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight with a low of 60. For tomorrow, a nice day ahead of us, partly sunny and less humid, high up to 86 degrees. Then for tomorrow night, mainly clear and comfortable once again with a low of 62. As we head into Wednesday, we'll have clouds and some breaks of sunshine. Not a bad day overall. The high Wednesday up to 86, but Thursday the humidity comes back with intervals of clouds and sunshine. There will be an afternoon thunderstorm in spots as well. The high Thursday 87, then humid on Friday with clouds and sun and a couple of afternoon showers and a thunderstorm with a high Friday up to 88. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 1.25% to 53,142. Nasdaq's up over 2.25%, and the S&P's up 118 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation. Because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At Northeast Men's Health, we're the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 7 offices, including our new office in Bridgewater.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, back and still in effect. Reese on the radio on WTIC, News Talk 1080. A little bit of housekeeping, I want to say this. You might have noticed in my career, it is rare that I ever tell people to do things related to GoFundMe stuff. Primarily because many of you might know that tends to bite people on the behind. I've heard so many horror stories that you promote a GoFundMe and then you find out that the whole thing was a farce. So I kind of stay away from it. I like that people do it. Like people do projects and ask for, public funding for something like a new invention or stuff like that. And those are cool, but I don't really promote them. In this particular case, and I'm looking at the picture, and you can't help it, like, your heart weeps for this. So Brittany Islami was the victim of this crash on July 13th, riding on the motorcycle of her boyfriend, Cooper Whitehouse. And she leaves behind 2 very beautiful kids. Three. What did I say? 2? 3 beautiful kids. I apologize. 3. I'm not going to give their names. It is on the GoFundMe page, but I posted the GoFundMe on both of my Facebook pages. If you would like to give, please do. The only reason why I'm saying that you should give is because of this. And this is the reason why I'm promoting it. So I looked at it and I saw it on first glance and I said, oh, they raised a considerable amount of money. But then I saw something that blew my mind. And that was they're only asking for $75,000. They did not leave this open to collect millions, which usually that happens. Something like this happens and people, but at the end of it, you look at it, it's like, wow, they donated $350 million. You know, it sometimes can get they just asked for a certain amount. They put a cap on it, which means that whoever did this was serious. It is only for whatever they plan to do it in, maybe something for the kids, maybe a college fund, something along those lines. I just want to say, Godspeed to those children. We pray for you. We mourn with you. And we all wish you didn't have to go through it. And they're young, looks like a preteen and a teenager and a young boy. He has 2 sisters who are older than him. Is going to affect them for the rest of their lives. So just know that we're praying for you and praying with you. And again, it's a sad story. And of course, doesn't mean we do not weep for the officer's family as well. And he's got a family and loved ones as well. And again, he deserves justice in all of this. And I hope they get that. And it'll be decided in a court of law. Now, let's go into something even deeper on this case as it relates to Melissa Ramirez, the woman who has been charged with this crime. She is an illegal in this country, and she is a business owner, which appears to be a theme. Now, Gino, did we confirm that this woman's business, that she is the sole proprietor of, it is an LLC, is this correct? Did we also hear that this company could be found on the Secretary of the State's business website? Is that also true? So the Secretary of the State is promoting businesses owned by illegal aliens in the country, and in this case, a criminal illegal. Is that correct? Okay. And we have confirmed this. Is that for certain? Okay, let me do this for you. Go ahead, say it again.
We have the documentation pulled right from the Secretary of State's website.
Okay. That is confirmed then, right? Okay, good. Just want to make sure. That is Gino, who is probably one of the best investigators outside of Adam 12. But they are a tag team. These two are like the Mario brothers of investigating these two. But they are on it. So again, we have 2 stories. We have driver's license issues. We have business owners living in the state. Protected, I might add, in the state, and in many ways promoted. But there is another avenue that we are going to go down. And let me just make this abundantly clear before anybody starts screaming and hollering. But again, I don't need the mainstream media to look into this. But we know of an organization here in Connecticut that is assisting illegals with a hell of a lot of documentation, especially if they wish to own a business or get registrations for vehicles. Illegals in the state. We looked at this up and down, and they are promoted online and Instagram. Questions have been raised about said organizations that are doing all the heavy lifting for illegals to do business in the state of Connecticut. They call themselves, they state, they are a one-stop shop to get license numbers, license plates, registrations. This is all alleged on their Instagram post, all written in Spanish. And no one is investigating this in the state of Connecticut. Definitely not the Attorney General. Because if I'm looking at this right, this is definitely something that you could take advantage of with unwitting illegals who don't know anything about the system here in the state of Connecticut, or much less the United States. Now, I'm going to go so far as to look into, let me see if I can look up what we looked into. I want to say about 2 days ago, we looked into this organization. It may have even been 3 days ago. And Gino provided this to me because I was like, what? What does this thing do? And it appears that if you're in the country illegally, you want to start a business, you want to buy a vehicle, that this organization works through or around the DMV to get certain documentation for you. And when we looked deep into this, they said this company shouldn't be able to do that. Not without back channels or something shady going on. We have not gotten to the bottom of this, but we will. We contacted these folks. They immediately responded. They appeared to be involved with lawyers who are helping them, at least some sort of legal representation, and an organization in Canada who contacted us after we inquired. This would make this an international issue. We are going very hard to find out how this is possible in the state of Connecticut. Look, I know that it's a sanctuary state, and people argue about it. We're not officially a sanctuary state. Oh, sure, you're not. But it looks like there's some shadiness going on. You know what? Maybe I have to recant something I've said months ago. You know, maybe these illegals are paying taxes here in the state. Maybe they are. I mean, if you to take the word of the organization we're looking into, they are making these illegal aliens legitimate in a lot of ways. Yeah, they make them look legal on paper. They're helping them get ITIN numbers. Clearly, they're allowed to get registrations for vehicles. In fact, the vehicle that Melissa Ramirez was in was registered to the company that she owns and operates, which is weird, right? Because an illegal, I guess, you know, can just come into the country and just start up a business. DOT numbers. That's interesting. A DOT number. That's a legitimate organization, isn't it? It's a legitimate part of the government, the Department of Transportation. Ooh, look at that. That's right. That's federal in order to get that DOT number. And, and you got to have, that's right. Oh, there's a lot of dirt going on here, folks. See, I wish people wouldn't just like, you know what? Give me what I want. Want me to back off? Give me what I want. I'll back off. Just give me back and say, we lied. She's really illegal and she has a driver's license and she voted in 3 elections. Then just back off. And I won't pull this thread. I won't. I'm really going to pull this thread. I'm sorry. It's just something in me. Here's why. Can I tell a personal story? Because you're all dirty. Because you're all dirty. All of you. The whole lot of you. You're just dirty. And you won't, and you just can't tell the truth. You have no interest in telling the truth. You have no interest in actually providing the work that you have been elected to do. It's always about you guys and what you want and your ego and your self-dealing nonsense. It's never about the people you serve. You don't even see, you see them as something to step over to get to whatever your goal is. And the only thing I ask for is for you to tell the truth, because guess what? I am addicted to telling these folks the truth. I am addicted, and I'm telling you, I am going to get them on my side, and I don't have to lie, cheat, or steal for them to do it. I'm just going to tell them the truth. And every day they wake up and they find out that someone else has provided them the facts, they're going to trust me more than you. And boy, when you want to talk about a drug, folks, I am addicted to these folks' trust. Every time I get a message from them, thank you, Reese. Thank you for investigating this. Finally, somebody I can trust is looking into this. I get off on it. I get giddy. I want them to love everything that I do. It puts a battery, a lithium battery. Hell, it puts a plutonium battery on my back. Because you just don't want to tell the truth. And you could have. You all could. But you don't like them. You hate them. You have contempt for them. But that's okay. That is all right. More for me. So much more for me. What's going on, my good friend Everett?
Hello, hello. Actually, I got a bunch of questions on this topic.
Go for it, buddy.
First of all, did these illegal aliens that came here, did they collect welfare Section 8 or anything like that before they started their business? And did they return the money?
That's such a great question, because I'm sure that welfare money was used or utilized in some way.
How do I come to a foreign country, survive with my family, and start a business?
Yeah, you have to.
Some kind of help.
You'd have to be using that as seed money. It's like when Jay-Z put out his first album. He used all of his drug money to buy studio time. It's like, you know what I mean? It's an age-old sort of a way of doing business. You get free money from someplace else where there's no accountability. That money is in your hand. You utilize that to do the thing that you're going to do, start the business. Maybe even as seed money to buy the things you need to start a business.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, too, is if they have all this paperwork for their DOT and for their business, that would mean they have documents. So they're documented illegal?
Very good point. That, again, it flies in the face of these folks being undocumented. To have DOT licenses, to have registrations, to have vehicles, to have property that they're either leasing or own. This all makes them documented individuals. And lest we forget here, Everett, the police who had the incident. Remember, the incident happens on the 13th of July. She's arrested 11 days later. The police officers in Danbury track her down. How do they do that when she's an undocumented individual? They actually have information on her that leads to her arrest. They contact her. They go one step further. If you read the affidavit, they contact her husband who lives in another town.
Wow. Well, that shows they're completely undocumented and the government has no idea where they are.
I no idea. Exactly. No idea whatsoever.
And one little thing that kind of has to do with this, I know a lot of people are looking for apartments. Call ICE and turn in their freaking illegals and take their apartment.
I couldn't agree more. We understand that they went to her location where her business is. This one's going to blow your mind. They went down to the business in Stamford, and they found the windows blacked out.
Huh.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. A legitimate business with the windows blacked out. Even the police officer puts in his report, they found that to be odd.
Yeah, no, there's a lots of odd things going on here. And I think,
that's exactly.
I
that's not
think
even
we got
half
a lot
of it.
Politicians that have their hand in the cookie jar right now.
It's a lot. I'm telling you, listen to me, there's something rotten in Danbury. Okay? I don't care what anybody
like
says.
I said, I found it hilarious saying that they're undocumented, and you're listing off all the documentation.
That's
and again, I was born and raised here. I was in business for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy starting a business. It takes a boatload of cash to get started.
That's right.
Just open the door. It costs a boatload of cash. So again, how do you go to a foreign country with nothing in your pocket and start a business?
I don't know what's more inviting than your business started by an illegal being promoted on the Secretary of the State's website. How about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no justification for that. I mean, why not just advertise for all the criminals in the state?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. That's come on down.
Yeah, you need a murderer, a rapist.
Yeah.
You need a burglary. Come on down. We got a list of everybody.
Exactly. So we'll get you some seed money through our welfare program. Hint, hint. Hush, hush. Again, like I said, something's dirty, smells dirty, looks dirty, must be dirty. So.
Yeah, well, I got a plumbing license, and I know what that stuff smells like, and that's what it smells like to me.
Exactly right. Thank you, Everett. I appreciate you, boss.
Bye.
You got it. Yeah, what is an official sanctuary state? One chartered by Congress. Sanctuary cities and officials and driver's licenses are all fraudulent behavior. Remember, Maxine Waters said, make the rules as we go along. Yep. This has got to be, it's got to go really, really deep. By the way, that's a good question, Peter. It says, isn't this Johanna Hayes' district? It is her district. Yeah, all the way down to what? This is not Stamford. That's not her district. But what about Danbury? Or Danbury, Newtown? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, get the exact one. Okay. Being on the SOC website is not promoting. It's just a database. People like banks and other businesses verify business. Well, I'm not disputing that, but the fact that it would be on there, how do you get on there?
You have to register your business with the Secretary.
Exactly. And you have to do annual filings. So I consider it like the reason why I'm saying is that if you're on that website, if you are found on that website, it clearly shows you that there's no vetting process on there. But thank you for the correction, Craig. I appreciate you, boss. The left in general are wacky on social norms. They loved death, destruction, and power. Truth writes. That's a bit much. The same ones who funded the Spain flood funded our flood, a.k.a. Israel, U.S. unqualified truckers. Good idea. I'm not sure exactly what that's dealing with. Oh, we got to take a break. All right, we'll come back. More news, more views, and Lamont's already won this thing, according to WFSB. We'll talk about it.
When a contractor needed to quickly lock down valuable equipment on site, they called the leader in mobile storage, Eagle Leasing. We delivered a clean, watertight storage container exactly where they needed it. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
When a contractor needed convenient office space on their job site, they called the leader in mobile offices, Eagle Leasing. The next day, we delivered a clean, high-quality office trailer and put it exactly where they needed it. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Lockridge, and I'm the host of a new podcast from Odyssey called Family Lore. In this podcast, I'm going to have people on to tell unusual and sometimes far-fetched stories about their families.
I've heard my whole life that she invented the margarita.
And then, we're going to investigate those stories and find out how much of it is true.
He gets a patent 1 month before the Wright brothers. Oh my God.
Please follow and listen to Family Lore, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Let's be real. With Trump in the White House, times have been tough. But in Connecticut,
Thankfully, we've had a governor who put his foot down and protected us from the chaos. When Donald Trump cut health coverage, Lamont capped insulin costs, canceled medical debt for working people, and restored the healthcare funding our families depend on. Now he's working towards universal healthcare. While ICE creates chaos nationwide, Governor Lamont's passed laws banning ICE from our schools and places of worship.
ICE, go home. We're keeping Connecticut safe without you.
And as Trump cut taxes for billionaires, Governor Lamont's cutting taxes for the middle class, with new plans to make sure big corporations paid their fair share.
And we're trying to make life a little less expensive for working families in the middle class.
With Trump in the White House, we need a governor with the experience and the backbone to fight back. That's Ned Lamont.
I'm Ned Lamont, candidate for governor, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ned for CT. Approved by Ned Lamont.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Cloudy skies, rain has stopped for now. Still real muggy out there at 79 degrees. Forecast details coming up. Those downpours have pelted parts of Connecticut today, causing flooding problems for some municipalities. A front will move through and get rid of the rain and humidity for a little while at least. Forecast details are coming up. Police in East Hartford say a pedestrian has been seriously injured following a motor vehicle crash in town. Incident occurred earlier this afternoon in the 300 Main Street area. Main is closed northbound at Brewer for the investigation. Still awaiting test results from the water in Waterbury. Crews finally patched up those dual water main breaks over the weekend. The boil water advisory remains in effect pending those results. Authorities are working to determine if a body found in the West River in New Haven over the weekend is that of a 13-year-old who went missing last week. King Best entered the river in the early morning hours of July 30th, was not seen again. Medical examiners conducting an autopsy. After calling off a fresh round of strikes against Iran, President Trump announced that new talks to wind down the war would start. Iranian officials, though, claim that their diplomatic efforts were focused on neighboring nations. Two Republican senators who threatened to block acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's bid to lead the Justice Department say they'll vote to advance the nomination. Announcement today ends an impasse over plans to create a fund to compensate allies of the president. Statement from Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis came after Blanche issued an order late Sunday formally rescinding the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. WTIC News time is 3:32. Here's a forecast.
Rather cloudy and very humid for the rest of this afternoon into early this evening. We'll have a couple of showers and even a heavy thunderstorm around. Some of those storms will bring torrential downpours that can lead to flash flooding, especially in those urban areas. The high this afternoon up to 79. Then we turn out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight with a low of 60, partly sunny and less humid tomorrow with a high up to 86. For tomorrow night, mainly clear and comfortable as we head down to a low of 62. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
79 right now in Hartford, half hour before the close. The gains continue on Wall Street. The Dow's up over 700 points. NASDAQ's up 2.25%, and the S&P is up about 1.5%. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
In Hartford, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 25 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we're right beside you, Hartford. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring. But now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Hey, he's your friendly neighborhood Reese on the radio. Right now on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
By the way, stay tuned later on in the program while I give my review of Spider-Man: A Brand New Day. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be Siskel and Reese, or, Reese and Ebert. I do. I love movie reviews. I love Siskel and Ebert when I was growing up. I watched them all the time. And I really trusted them as movie critics. Yeah, kid, what do you know? But I wanted to do that. In fact, can I tell you, this is actually, I think I've told this before. So I've got a lot of ridiculous dreams, okay? And they're like bucket list things. I guess you would call them a bucket list thing. So I have a feeling that I could kick a 25-yard field goal, and my dream is to kick one during a game. Professional or semi-pro, I don't care. My dream, it's a dream, okay? The coach is down there, and he says, hey, Reese, our kicker, he sprained his ankle. You want to come down and kick this one? I come down and I kick the field goal, blah, blah, you know. Because I think I could do it. By the way, if anyone wants to challenge me, if you got the little, you know, if you want to go to the football field and you'd be the holder, I think I could do it. I think I could do it. We tried over at Stadium 15 at the virtual sims, you know, simulated thing. We tried over there. I think that thing is off. I need to physically do it. Anyway, that being said, that's one of them. The other thing is that we don't have newspapers anymore, so you have to see it online. But you remember back in the day, Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up when they put up the movie poster, stuff like that. I want to be that person, you know. Reese on the radio says this, you know, such and such is a tour de force. I always wanted that on the top of a movie poster. I did. It's kind of silly. But anyway, I'll tell you about what I thought of Spider-Man Brand New Day later on in the program. Before I get into this next subject with the governor, let's take this phone call. Tony's on the line. How you doing, Tony?
How you doing, Reese?
I'm good, sir. What's up?
I'm going to try to make it August 14th at Stadium 15 so I could officially meet you.
Oh, man, I can't wait, Tony. Thank you.
What time is a good slot? 7? Is that cool?
Well, 2. We're doing a live broadcast from 2 to 6, and then we're doing what everyone's calling an after party, but it's kind of an old man's after party because it'll be before 9.
Yeah, I'm old man like you, bro. Me and my wife are going to be there. We're going to try to be there. I'd love to meet you for the first time because you're such a great guy.
Thank you, man.
And the best part of everything, Reese, I love your sincerity. Nobody talks about the word or adjective of sincerity. It needs to be spoken about a lot more. And, like, you know, when you talk facts, you talk facts. We don't want to live a lie. Nobody wants to live a lie.
That's all I care about.
I love you for that.
Thank you.
Bro, I love you for that. Yeah, I just had to give you that shout-out. I'll try to make it, all right, buddy?
Yes, sir. And please, and I'd love to meet your wife and come on down. Roseanne will be there, and we are hoping that everyone who can make it comes down. We want to see a sea of people, and we want to shake every hand that we meet there. And
awesome, bro.
We really do.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, I got to meet you, dude. I got to meet you because I love you.
Thank you.
You put on such a great show, and you have 100% sincerity.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I could say, my friend.
You got it. You
all
be
right, dude,
good.
I'll let you carry on, bro.
Thank you, man. I'll see you soon.
Yep, later.
Later. I'll take Fred real quick before I get into this. How you doing, sir?
Great. Well, what's synergy? Because I have a very brief poem called The Reese Guy Part 4.
Yeah. I love the fact that the Reese Guy has sequels.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's still good. It's got a lot of wear to it.
Thank you.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Hi, it's me, the Reese Guy. Would you like to come on the air? What are you, crazy? Why would I do that? Oh, hadn't you heard? I'm throwing a big magic show, and you're invited to come watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. There's nothing to talk about, so I have nothing to say, and if I did, I wouldn't say it to you. So don't call us, we'll call you. Okay, I'll go if it's what I must do. And oh, gee, so sorry for accidentally stepping on your brand new blue suede shoe. Thank you.
Absolutely great every time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Poet laureate Fred in Middletown. He's always in and out. Okay. The governor, Ned Lamont. Folks, I've never seen this. Nah, that's not true. I apologize. I've never seen this on a local level in this way. But I've seen this on a national level. And there are a lot of people, friendly, affectionate, caring of the governor, who wish to drag him across the finish line. Drag him across. And they are willing to do anything and everything, say anything to convince you that it is true. What am I talking about? Well, let's have your political reporter, Susan Raff, tell you all about it. Let me see. Where is it here? I could have sworn I had this here. Did I not have it? I thought I put it up there. Anyway, yeah, this is this the report here? Let me see. Whoop. No, wrong one. I thought I had this thing ready to go. Here it is. My bad.
Good evening. Early voting starts today in Connecticut, and according to our exclusive poll, Josh Elliott and Ryan Fazio have a lot of work to do to catch up to Governor Lamont. Governor Lamont is in the driver's seat, headed into the primary against his Democratic challenger, Josh Elliott. Lamont has a strong advantage, with 57.3%, Elliott just over 21%.
Oh, the race is over, folks. It's over. What's the point? Lay down your arms, Josh Elliott. Susan Raff says you got no shot. Lamont's got, more than twice your lead. More than twice your percentage points. It's over. Why are you even in this? Just go back for your regular seat, man. Just campaign for that. You're not in it to win it. No one knows you. No one cares.
However, there are still roughly 20% of undecided voters.
What? What? However, I count 20% putting Josh Elliott, if he were to get every one of them, at 41.8. And I didn't go to college, but I'm sure that is less than 57.3. Well, forget about me. I'm sorry. Susan Raff, you were saying.
Could something change?
I guess.
Gary Rose, a political professor at Sacred Heart University, doesn't think so.
But why doesn't he think so is really interesting.
Rose says campaign ads have made a difference.
I know that Josh Elliott's been running a number of ads, very aggressive ads as well. But Lamont's ads, I believe, suggest a governor who has done well.
This exclusive Sacred Heart University WFSB CT Insider gubernatorial poll also breaks down the race between Lamont and Republican Ryan Fazio.
And that one is even worse, folks. Kinda.
In the general election, this shows Lamont with a sizable margin over Fazio. There's a lot in this poll, not just the numbers, but issues that are important and that matter to you, the voters.
Well, what would that matter? With all of those issues, it looks like Ned Lamont is still the certified winner. According to this poll, they're saying that there's a lot to this, that there are things that people are concerned about. But according to the polls, it pretty much says that Lamont, the guy who's been in charge of those problems for the last 8 years, they trust him with going forward to solve them. He didn't have enough time, according to those folks. But I digress. Susan, continue.
All week long, we'll be looking at the candidates and what voters are looking for when they go to the polls in the upcoming primary.
Why would we be looking into the polls? This is pretty much a wrap, isn't it? Huh? Why are we doing this? All of it just seems odd. Well, you know that I love the polling data, folks. I really, really love the polling data. And let's go through some of the things that this Connecticut Insider poll and Sacred Heart University poll actually says. And the claim that Lamont leads Fazio by more than 20 points and holds a wide margin and a commanding lead and a majority of support, well, that's partially accurate on the raw numbers, but misleading on the framing and the strength. The poll is of 1,000 registered voters, not likely voters, which is anyone who knows polling knows that accurate polling is done with likely, not registered. Right? They do know that. I thought everyone knew that. I wouldn't go to press with a registered voter poll saying that somebody had a commanding lead. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I don't know what the rest of you do, but I know I wouldn't. I also know that most pollsters would agree with me, not because I'm some sort of authority, just because I live and breathe these things. But, some people know better than me. They have far more experience. How about this one? Lamont's relative popularity is keeping him well ahead in a rough year for incumbents. Well, that's according to the poll. Well, that's also misleading. Lamont's job approval is supposed to be 50.6%. General Assembly approval only 37%. Roughly half of registered voters express confidence state government can address key issues. 59% report difficulty maintaining their standard of living. 41% say the Connecticut economy has gotten worse over the past year. 38% cite declining personal finances. Top issues: cost of living, inflation, energy costs, housing. 39.8% want some changes. Another 36.1% want significant changes or a completely new direction. Combined, 76% favor change. I wouldn't have put out this polling data, but they did. Why? Because this is a significant part of it, isn't it? If 76% of polling data says that they want change, what about that says hire Lamont again? Just tell me. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear the argument. But you know what I'm going to get? Here's what I'm getting. Well, you know. No, I don't. Tell me again. I'm listening. So we looked a little bit deeper into the data, and it turns out the only people who have had a poll that's worth even mentioning is the New Hampshire poll. And again, the one I told you that's really, really looking bad for Lamont, at least in the area of Josh Elliott. They have not done that polling data when it comes to Fazio. And the people who are talking about registered voters with 1,000 people and Ryan Fazio, I mean, come on. I think that number is going to be something different very soon. But don't pay any attention to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's what they all tell me. Oh, crap. We've got to take a break. I totally forgot where we were. All right, we're taking a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We'll return.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Amazon plans to ramp up its satellite system as it looks to take on Starlink. Amazon Leo will deploy more than 5,000 low Earth orbit satellites starting in 2028 to deliver voice, data messaging, and emergency services to smartphones and mobile devices. SpaceX-owned Starlink has nearly 11,000 low Earth orbit satellites compared to Amazon Leo with around 400. I'm Jason Brooks.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I got to admit, Andrew, Roland just said, it was like, yeah, you're excited today. I am totally missing my cues. I'm supposed to be out at 3:50. I blew right past it. Curmudgeon, I want to answer some of these that are on there. You said the collect does not show photos of Connecticut driver's licenses. Sir, that's not true. It's 100% untrue. Sorry, sir. I've asked every police officer I can look at. In fact, I'm going to give a holler to my good friend Ruddy to make sure that's confirmed. But every person I've spoken to, police officer, former police officer, says that they have used that system to do that. And by the way, I'm with Joey V. I like your handle as well. Curmudgeon is a great name. That's what I used to be called. And you asked this question in the chat room as well, which also I sort of answered asked you to answer. You said if the information on the warrant was incorrect, why they would not have issued a new warrant. That information would be in a supplemental report. I agree with you. I looked that up as well. I made sure that was certain. I asked the question, if it was changed in the supplemental report, that should be released, or we should know that that's been changed. But the Danbury Police Department won't tell us. They won't respond. Also, the sworn affidavit has to be handled because it can be used against the officers and their investigation. A sworn affidavit is a sworn affidavit. And there is case law that says that a sworn affidavit can be used in a case to destroy the credibility of said case. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Kelly, hey, how are you? Glad I see you on the check-in. Read it again. I said it does. Okay, he said you read it again. Okay, so I asked him, I said, did you read the affidavit in the warrant? And if so, should we ask for a supplement to be released? And I have not seen a supplemental report been released. I saw a Facebook post. That's what I saw. But if you know the link of it, Curmudgeon, please let me know. I'd love to see that. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's here. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark. Maybe. Okay, he's probably going long. We'll go to weather then.
WTIC weather.
Cloudy and very humid for the rest of this afternoon into early this evening. There will be a couple of showers and even a heavy thunderstorm around as well. Some of those storms can lead to flash flooding, especially in urban areas, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that. The high this afternoon, 79. Then we turn out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight with a low of 60. For tomorrow, a nice day ahead of us, partly sunny and less humid, high up to 86 degrees. Then for tomorrow night, mainly clear and comfortable once again with a low of 62. As we head into Wednesday, we'll have clouds and some breaks of sunshine. Not a bad day overall. The high Wednesday up to 86, but Thursday the humidity comes back with intervals of clouds and sunshine. There will be an afternoon thunderstorm in spots as well. The high Thursday 87, then humid on Friday with clouds and sun and a couple of afternoon showers and a thunderstorm with a high Friday up to 88. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Reese on the radio, and August 14th is my birthday, and I want to spend it with you. So we're taking the show on the road for a special birthday broadcast. We'll be broadcasting live from Stadium 15 in Farmington, Connecticut from 2 to 6. Maybe there'll be an after party. Who knows? So make plans to hang out, listen to the show, have some food, some drinks, and help me celebrate my birthday. It's the 14th at 15. Stadium 15 in Farmington from 2 to 6 on Friday, August the 14th. Hope to see you there.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 4 o'clock in afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Got cloudy skies. Looks like the rain is let up. Temperature of 79 degrees. It was another wet one around Connecticut today. Heavy rain playing havoc with flooded roads and scattered road closures as well, with flooding down trees and power lines. Police in East Hartford, meantime, say a pedestrian has been seriously injured following a motor vehicle crash in town. Incident occurred in the 300 Main Street area, Main closed northbound at Brewer for that investigation. President Trump says new Iran talks could start today. Tehran says that's not the case, that it will talk with neighboring Oman about reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
We're straight about it, but they deny it, but they're not denying it. No, they just put out a statement not denying it.
At the White House this past hour, Trump making several statements.
We're talking about the Strait, the opening of the Strait, having it open literally by tomorrow, completely open.
And also insisting that while the Justice Department dismissed charges in the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool case, saying evidence pointed to botched work by the contractor, turned his disappointment toward the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia and doubling down on his vandalism theory.
I was disappointed with Jeanine Pirro, really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella.
Early voting for the Connecticut primaries is underway. It'll run through Sunday. Governor Lamont faces a challenge from Hamden State Representative Josh Elliott. In an appearance at Newington Town Hall, Lamont assured residents that Connecticut's election process is safe from all kinds of threats.
We make sure that ICE is far away and nobody can intimidate you. They're not getting a hold of our voter rolls. Don't let them cast any aspersions. This is America. This is Connecticut. This is Newington. We vote with integrity, and democracy works best when you have a stake in the outcome.
In addition to choosing nominees for the General Assembly in some districts, Democratic voters in the 1st Congressional District will choose their nomination for the U.S. House. Election day, or primary day actually, is 1 week from tomorrow. Fire officials in Spokane, Washington say numerous structures have been destroyed in wildfires there.
More than 7,000 acres burning. Home after home burned to the ground. Residents and their family members are coming back to find what's left.
That's correspondent Alex Stone. And the average price of gas nationwide remains over the $4 a gallon mark. This as uncertainty grows in the Middle East. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan.
After August 8th, if the national average is still above the $4 mark, it'll be the latest in the calendar year that we've ever seen that $4 a gallon mark still stick around. So just a lot of uncertainty.
Well, stocks rallied, fueled by gains in big tech and a drop in oil prices. Dow up 693 points, NASDAQ up 540, S&P up 110. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Reese is on the radio. Here we go now. He's on the radio. One time, he's on the radio. Give it to him now. He's on the radio. We never finish 'cause the party don't stop. The way we consider the politics, we on top. We flip it like sandals, except we never flop. And when we drop, you know we gon' pop. Reese is on the radio. Here we go now. Reese is on the radio. One time, come on. Reese is on the radio. Give it to him now. Reese is on the radio.
All right, first half, Reese on the radio done. Second half underway. When we return, we'll talk about a whole bunch of shenanigans. Apparently, we got more money stolen from the state. We'll talk about that. What else have we got here? There was something else that I needed to get into. But anyway, I'm sure the Spider-Man review I want to get to the bottom of. The Connecticut Sentinel's article is out now, and there are more details. And I got to ask you, Curmudgeon, you seem to be a little too invested in... I don't want to use the term covering for. Let's just say you seem to be speaking very favorable of the Danbury Police Department. I have to ask, I won't tell anybody, but are you somewhat on the inside here? Just asking, Curmudgeon. Just wondering. Because you seem to be suggesting like you want to tell something. I've been in this game for a long time. When somebody is this involved in, like, I don't want to use the word covering for, but you know what I mean, somewhat protective. I'll use that because I'm not trying to be mean-spirited in my description of what you're doing. So I'm just saying you seem to be a little protective of the Danbury Police Department. So if you're trying to at least put them in a good light for a reason, just share it with me. I'll understand your point of view. I'll get into a little bit more of this later on in the program, but I'll get that impression from you as well. I just do. I don't know why, but I do. Also, I want to talk about why CNN put out this press release covering for Dana Bash on CNN about her interview with RFK Jr., which is another classic case of an interviewer getting into an argument with the subject. What do you people think you are, Reese on the radio? What are you trying to, you jockeying for my job, huh? Dana Bash, sad state. Sad state. It's embarrassing to watch these people. And I got to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and what I hear the Democratic Socialists of America are planning for her career. Got to get into that a little bit as well. All right, so stand by for all of that and much, much more. Now let's get another check of weather and traffic. Our good friend Mark Christopher's back. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Look out for a crash now, 84 eastbound at exit 41 South Main Street in West Hartford. Let's see, the left and center lanes are blocked there. Stay to the right. Once you get around that, good ride into Hartford. Westbound 84, barely a slowdown as you move between exit 43 and 42 in West Hartford, rubbernecking at that eastbound crash. If you are traveling on 91 north to south, no problems crossing Cromwell up in Windsor Locks, 291 westbound slowing approaching the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. If you're traveling 2 westbound, you're looking good Glastonbury and East Hartford. Quiet Middletown. 84 eastbound Waterbury delays, 18 to the Mixmaster. 84 westbound slowing 25A up to exit 23 on the westbound side of 84 in Waterbury. 95 South New Haven tight 46 down to 44. Got some road closures this afternoon, including in Columbia. Route 87 shut down between Lake Road and Whitney Road. Tree and wires down there. Middlebury Route 64 shut down at Upper Whittemore Road. A tree and wire down there. And in Southington, Route 322 is shut down at Old Mountain Road because of a tree and wires down there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
But it's going to be mostly cloudy and very humid for the rest of this afternoon into early this evening. There will be a couple of showers and even a few gusty thunderstorms around as well. Some of those storms will bring torrential downpours, which can lead to flash flooding. The high this afternoon up to 79. Then it turns out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight. We'll head down to a low of 60 degrees. Now for tomorrow, not a bad day overall. Partly sunny, less humid out there. With a high of 86, we'll turn out mainly clear and comfortable once again tomorrow night, low 62. Then for Wednesday, clouds and a few breaks of sunshine. Another nice day overall with a high of 86. Then we turn very humid as we get into Thursday with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. There will be an afternoon thunderstorm at spots as well. The high Thursday, 87. Humid on Friday with clouds and sun, along with a couple of afternoon showers and a thunderstorm. The high Friday up to 88. Right now it's 78 degrees in Farmington, 77 in Tolland, and we're at 78 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
Does your morning start the same way every day? You wake up, walk into the bathroom, look into the mirror, and think, wow, this bathroom really needs an update. Then it's time to visit Modern Plumbing Supply. Our 8,000 square foot showroom is filled with hundreds of beautiful faucets, sinks, vanities, toilets, and so much more. Update your bathroom with Modern Plumbing Supply. And the only thing you'll have to worry about when you look in the mirror is your hair. Modern Plumbing Supply showroom on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, back with more nonsense that you can shake a stick at. Curmudgeon, if I may ask, and maybe if you want to remain anonymous, I totally get it. But because I can't go back and forth with you in a chat room, there's a couple of things that you're writing here that I would rather speak to you to get to at least understand where your, for lack of a better word, expertise are on this. I'm not, you seem to be saying a lot of stuff that I already know, but I kind of want to dig deeper in this conversation with you as it relates to the warrant and serving said warrant upon the arrest. So I don't have to wait for you to answer on the chat room. I'd rather just talk to you. So you can see the telephone number. It's on the bottom line. It's coming across right now. 860-522-9842. 522-9842. I said the number enough times. I should know it by now. But please, if you will, if you can, or just tell me in the chat room, you'd rather not. But I really would like to just go back and forth with you on this, on what you say, because I think it'll be a great conversation, and you could possibly answer my questions, because not that I'm pushing back, I just want to challenge your point of view on this, if you could. It's not really a debate. Like I don't want to be adversarial, but I just kind of want to debate you on some of the things that don't seem to jive with me, and perhaps you can help me, or maybe even straighten me out. But I think I can. I think I can hold my own on this one, but if you could, just give me a call. Let's go to Francis in Plainville real quick. How you doing, Francis?
I'm doing well, Reese. I'm calling about the polling.
Yeah, please.
Because I started my academic career, U.S. foreign policy propaganda.
Okay.
Many decades ago.
Okay.
Cold War.
Yeah, but hey, it doesn't matter. Listen to me. That learning curve will sit with you for the rest of your life and will always be applicable.
Yeah, so it wasn't in academia for a few years after the Cold War ended.
Right.
But the way this thing has been released, WFSB put it out basically today.
Yeah.
It's on social media.
Mm-hmm.
On social media, you got about 7 seconds.
Right.
So everyone who's seeing it, for the most part, in the way it was presented and broadcast, in that first bit, it's the election's over.
Right.
Well, voting started today.
Yes.
So if you're looking at this as if it were, what's its purpose?
PSYOP.
From a propagandist point of view, it is to suppress likely voters that want change.
Correct.
Oh, it's over. Why bother going to the polls?
Correct.
Second thing is, in the clip that you played, WFSB saying we're going to get into the details of the issues of the campaign.
Yeah.
Over the next week. Voting's already started.
Right.
This is something that should have been covered prior to voting starting.
Correct.
So it's essentially providing, if I'm a propagandist pushing this, it's providing me, quote, legitimate cover for doing a push poll. And I'm not saying they're doing a push poll.
I'll go so far as to say this, and you tell me whether or not, since you are the expert here, I'll call you at least the expert in this conversation between the two of us, because I'm looking at this on a very fundamental level. But how about this? It can never be argued now that FSB never dug into the issues by doing it after the fact.
Yeah, it's CYA.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because when you were getting into the numbers beyond the likely voter.
Yes.
One of the things, a lot of the polls, and I pay attention to this, since I did have a brief political career.
Mm-hmm.
Lamont's, all the polling has basically been saying for the last year or two, Lamont's support is relatively soft.
Correct.
So if you're basically coming out with a poll and the pollsters do exactly what they're told. So it's here, we want registered voters. That's what they give you.
Correct.
As opposed to likely. So this isn't on the pollsters at all. This is on, who's asking for it.
Right. Exactly right.
But basically this is, you look at it as a piece. If I'm doing and going to do it as a piece of propaganda, it's really well done because it basically is going to suppress potential voters against Lamont. It's over. Why am I bother going down to vote?
Correct.
And primaries a lot lower in terms of numbers.
Right. And it's usually done right. The primaries are usually lower. And again, you can utilize a report like this to suppress even more. So in essence, the margins of which, right, so the margins of the amount of people who are going to show up to vote are disenchanted with going down there with a report like this, right? You already know it's low, so you put this out there to increase or I should say decrease the amount of people who show up at the polls.
There's also another, since your news just had Lamont talking about how safe our voting is, Bridgeport.
Mm-hmm.
The lower the number, the easier in terms of number of districts
that
you have to fudge with.
Right.
Robert Caro wrote a brilliant piece on his Lone Star Rising on LBJ.
Mm-hmm.
And LBJ basically stole his first major election. And he did it very well. He knew what numbers he needed. It was all done before the polls closed. There was no, we're going to stop the count the next day.
Right.
Nonsense that goes on today. But the lower the number, you need to have fewer districts, that's fewer players involved in getting those extra votes.
Correct.
And both sides, and Connecticut is blue state, red states, same stuff will happen. The old saying, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
That's right.
Don't trust any of the politicians. This kind of is set up to do all of those things. And the last one, I'm not saying they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had to, it's easier if the lower the number, it's easier to come up with those extra votes.
Okay, I get what you're saying. All right, right. Okay, that is the end game in all of this. Now, but let me ask you, just to throw this one out there, sort of as a curveball, okay?
Yep.
Would you suggest that the Connecticut Insider and who's the other person in the poll, Sacred Heart University, would you go so far as to say that both of these organizations have a horse in the race?
Sacred Heart, no. I mean, the only thing Sacred Heart would have is to raise their profile in terms of polling.
Okay.
Because Quinnipiac has dominated for years.
Absolutely.
In the Connecticut market.
Yet we haven't seen any, weirdly enough, have you seen any Quinnipiac polling on this?
No.
Weird, right?
So that is, I wouldn't say that. Connecticut Insider, again, I don't know enough about them.
Okay.
To make a judgment, but I would assume it's fairly clear. They're going to do the polling.
Okay.
And what comes back is what comes back.
Mm-hmm.
It's how it's interpreted.
Right.
That is really the play. So the pollsters just go out and do it. And then I'd have to see how Connecticut Insider is reporting it.
Right. But I got to see the skews, too. I've got to look at, you got 1,000 voters. How wide is that spread? From which angle? You know that there's going to be some groupings, if you will, right? There's going to be some regions that are polled versus those in the outer rims, if you will. If you're scaling it, you might be some towns with this, that, or the third. More conservative leaning versus more Democrat leaning, more progressive, where these numbers are coming from. Because we're talking about 1,000 people getting numbers that separate guys by 40%?
But, Reese, in a lot of ways, it's because they're just going with registered voters.
Yeah.
Not likely.
Exactly.
So they're looking at a pie that doesn't really apply to the primary, because you don't have just registered voters. It's very likely voters.
That's right. Exactly.
It's activist voters.
Exactly.
And whether it's on the Republican side or the Democrat side, the average, even registered Republican or registered Democrat doesn't vote in the primaries.
Indeed.
So you would be looking at, if you're looking at registered voter, you're going to have Republicans in there and independents who have no idea who Josh Elliott is.
Correct.
So they're going to respond to, I know Lamont, therefore Lamont, I know the name, he's got to be the person, because I don't know who the other person is. So they're responding in all probability as best they can, but they're not going to be voting.
But doesn't that hurt?
And they're not part of, you wouldn't do registered voters if I'm doing a survey for selling a product, I'm not doing a poll of people who I know will not buy that product.
Right. Yeah.
But have people in here who will not buy the product because they're not voting in the Democrat primary come hell or high water.
And that's where we have the biggest problem, because, again, you kind of screw yourself over in a poll like this. If the poll that you gave turns out upside down on election day, your credibility as a pollster is shot.
But again, this has kind of got a dual element to it. It's got primary, and they're looking at the general.
Right.
Fazio versus, quote, Lamont.
Yeah.
So it's already kind of structured.
Right. The end
way.
result, I got you. I get what you're saying. The end result is what they want, not so much the accuracy thereof.
Well, it's the pollsters just doing what they're asked to do.
Right. Indeed.
And if you ask, here, we want you to poll on this, and it's bad polling questions, the pollster's job is to do the polling.
Right. I got you.
There to tell you, no, you really should be doing this.
Yeah, I got you. Thank you. You know what? Thank you for the clarification. Well, at least you kind of certified what I was already saying. Like the likely voters or very likely voters is where you want to go for the accuracy of this polling. And why this polling is flawed is exactly as you state. Registered voters, you can get anything from that.
Yeah, and it may end up turning out the numbers end up fairly accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But the stories already are going to have an impact.
Right.
So do you know, is the poll accurate, or is it doing what we call push polling and creating a result that they want?
Mm-hmm.
And again, the pollsters are just asking the questions.
Right.
It's, who's really behind this?
Yeah.
And what are they looking for? And it could be a legitimate poll in which WFSB is playing with.
Good point. You know what? I'm going to look at the internals on the poll anyway, because I haven't even looked at those. But I'll look at the internals on that. Thank you. I appreciate you, Francis. It's a great call.
My pleasure, and happy birthday coming up.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Let me go to Joe Simsbury. You want to wait until the next break?
I can talk quick, I
okay.
think.
Yeah, go for it.
Right. So, great call, Francis. I'm going to add something that I just saw. So today is obviously the first day of early voting, and that's occurring in Simsbury.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to my attention just now while I was on hold that there are a number of people asking when they're going into Simsbury Town Hall, how come Larson and Bronin are not on the ballot? So obviously these are Democrats that are asking the question.
Right.
Simsbury is not in their district. We have Johanna Hayes. So anyone ever tells me that Democrats, and if you're looking at it, this is the first day.
Right.
You have eager Democrats who don't even know who their congressperson is.
That's wild.
Going in to vote. It is just insane. I can't be nice to these people.
That's wild.
So I don't want to steal your thunder. I read the Dan Haar thing in the Connecticut Sentinel.
No, good. That's okay. Wait, do you talk about the Dan Haar reference inside the Connecticut Sentinel?
Yes.
Go for it. No, it's all right.
Yes.
You can definitely steal my thunder on this. What do you got?
Well, if this guy's flat out lied to all of us about having a conversation, and now he's being caught in the lie, how does he keep his job? I'm serious. This is a pretty serious thing. If, and I'll use the word again, if he is in fact lying about having a conversation with Melissa Ramirez of New Britain that she is being threatened, and that turns out to be false, how does he keep his job?
I don't know. I've asked one simple question of Mr. Haar. How did you certify? How did you with certainty find out that the person that you called that was on this record was indeed Melissa Ramirez? He did not answer. I don't know why.
And I guess he's unwilling to give the phone number that he used to make that contact.
He did not, and I already had the number. I was just going off of his reporting. I wanted to piggyback on his reporting. He is a legitimate journalist here in Connecticut, well established. I wanted to know if he had spoken to her, if he had the telephone number that I had obtained. Did I obtain that telephone number on my own before I received the actual telephone number from her voting records, which I do have on file? I have them on file. I mean, and we're talking about her entire voting record from when she went from unaffiliated to a Democrat. Okay, I have the date in which she switched. So I just called to find out, hey, do you know that this person is the telephone number? And he refused.
You know, I don't know the actual truth, so I'm gonna walk carefully on what I'm gonna say here. But let's say that he did talk with someone who represented themselves as being Melissa Ramirez and did tell him the story that he has shared with everyone. That to me would sound far too similar to the Mimi situation.
Oh,
where
yes, it
somebody
would.
else in New Britain decided to have someone pretend that they were someone that they were not.
Thank you, Joe.
Last thing I'll say.
God, no, I got to go to a break, dude. But hold on, stay on the line. Don't go nowhere. He just piqued my interest. Yeah, I know. We got Mark. Yeah, I did. Didn't I put him on hold? I didn't put him on hold. There he is. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, we had an accident 84 eastbound right at 41 South Main Street in West Hartford in the left to center lane. That just cleared a couple of seconds ago. So right now you're looking at delays from 40 Corbin's Corner up to 41 South Main Street in West Hartford. Westbound 84 slowing from exit 40 Sisson Avenue out to 41 South Main Street, rubbernecking at that former accident. 91 southbound, brief tap of the brakes at 32 A and B. If you are traveling on the westbound side of 291, a little slow as you move up on the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. Traveling into Waterbury right now, if you're traveling 84 eastbound, you'll see a little slow traffic approaching 18 to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 is slowing approaching the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Cheshire tight 26 down to the 691 interchange. We do have some road closures right now. Columbia Route 87 is shut down between Lake Road and Whitney Road. Tree and wires down in Middlebury. Route 64 is shut down at Upper Whittemore Road. Tree and wires down there. Sudlington Route 322 is shut down at Old Mountain Road. Tree and wires down there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon into early this evening, it will be cloudy and very humid out there with a few showers and even a heavy thunderstorm. There will be the risk for flash flooding as well, especially in urban areas. The high this afternoon, 79. Then we turn out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight with a low down to 60. Some sunshine in store for tomorrow, less humid with a high of 86. Then we turn out mainly clear and comfortable for tomorrow night with a low of 62. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30, 80 degrees in Hartford under cloudy skies. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Still the chance for a shower or maybe a thunder shower. Downpours have been the order of the day across Connecticut, though. A front is expected to move through later on today and will finally rid us of this precipitation and humidity. Going to be short-lived, though, as you heard in the forecast there. The humidity will be ramping up once again later on in the week. 2 people have died from the cyclospora outbreak, first in the U.S. that is related to the microscopic parasite. They were from Michigan, where that has been the hotbed of cases so far. The Michigan Health Department says the 2 did have underlying health conditions. A boil water advisory remains in effect for now in Waterbury. Comes on the heels of the 2 water main breaks last week. Those have been repaired. Still waiting to hear from City Hall the outcome of water tests in order to have that advisory lifted. Authorities still working to determine if a body found in the West River in New Haven over the weekend is that of a 13-year-old who went missing last week. King Best entered the water in the early morning hours of July 30th and wasn't seen again. Medical examiners conducting the autopsy. 2 Republican senators who threatened to block acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's bid to lead the Justice Department say they will now vote to advance his nomination. The announcement today ending an impasse over plans to create a fund to compensate some of President Trump's allies. And UConn women's basketball coach Gino Auriemma is going back to the future when it comes to his coaching staff. He's bringing in Nikesha Sales as an assistant. The Bloomfield native was the Huskies' all-time leading scorer when she graduated in 1998. She's currently 7th on the list. Auriemma says it's the best decision they could make. Sales calls it a homecoming, having come full circle in her hoops career. Checking Wall Street, the Dow finished up 693 points today. The Nasdaq picked up 540, and the S&P was up 110 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, but our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Just reading a couple of statements here. Of course, this story has received a lot of attention, as it would in most cases. Reading a lot of these other comments and people who are going over. In a little time that I have here before we get weather and traffic again. So, I want to commend or thank a lot of people. And I'll start with this. So, to give you a weird story that happened out of nowhere. Back in May 15th, I think it was, I originally posted a exchange between myself and Governor Lamont about Lamont's statement that people of color would be afraid to go to the polls. And I promised you when I read about it or watched the video that the next press conference Lamont was at, I would be there and I would ask him about it, which I did. And my confrontation with him went viral. And I posted it on 2 separate pages. So people may not know this. There is a Reese Hopkins page, if you were. It's my personal page. And then there's a Reese on the radio page. And the original idea was I was going to keep my personal page personal and the Reese on the radio page would be about for the show. But it didn't work out that way. It seemed as though more people were just going to my personal page. So I didn't make any big deal out of it. It's like, fine, I'll just post everything on both pages. It's more work, but I mean, what? It's like a couple of minutes worth of time. And I'm cool with that. So anyway, so again, they were posted on both pages. Now, the one on my personal page, the Reese page, after about 369,000 views, that video had gone dormant. At the same time, on the Reese on the radio page, it had received 47,000 views, which is a lot. Both are a lot. I'm thankful that a lot of the videos that I post, you guys will give it 2,000 here, 1,000 there. You know, some of them will get as high as 10, 15, 20,000. Very grateful. And it's sporadic. You guys are very fickle about what you're interested in. And that's cool. I don't know. I can't gauge it like that. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, over the past weekend or so, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, all of a sudden I started getting these alerts from people who were saying stuff. Their alert would say, you know, Joe Schmo says, another libtard or something like that. And I would say, it was like, wow. It's like, it kept coming up, just getting these alerts. Somebody said something this about this video. Somebody said that about this video. Somebody said, and all of a sudden, someone finally said, it's thinking, it's like, people of color, what is he talking about? And I went, oh, that's weird. Somebody's finding the people of color video again. I click onto it. And it's on the Reese on the radio page. And I look at the count of how many people have viewed it. Like I said, it stopped after a month at 47,000 views. Well, I looked at it again, and it had spiked to 60,000. The original one on my personal page, 369, stayed there, didn't move. The other one kept going up. Today, the video sits on the Reese on the radio page at 106,000 views in a weekend. I'll tell you more about it when we get back. Mark Christopher's back. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right. Thank you very much, Reese. If you are traveling on the eastbound side of 84 coming into Hartford, you're going to see some slow traffic as you move into West Hartford right now, as you move up on exit 43 Park Road in West Hartford up to 44 Prospect Oakwood. Westbound 84 looks good until you get downtown. You got delays coming out of the tunnel. Out to exit 44 in West Hartford. North and southbound 91 moving well. 2 westbound, no issues. Glastonbury to East Hartford. 291 westbound slowing approaching the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. Quiet Middletown. 91 southbound, some delays. 19 down to 17 in Meriden. If you are traveling northbound on the Parkway, you've got some slow traffic moving up on 64B in Meriden. Westbound 84 slows approaching the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound tied up approaching 17 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing in Cheshire. 26 down to the 691 interchange. And we have some road closures out there this afternoon. Columbia Route 87 shut down between Lake Road and Whitney Road because of a tree and wires down there. Middlebury Route 64 shut down at Upper Whittemore Road due to tree and wires down. In Southington, Route 322 shut down at Old Mountain Road, tree and wires down at that location. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, we have some heavy thunderstorms moving across the area right now, and that will continue through the rest of this afternoon into the early evening hours. Otherwise, we're going to see some clearing across the area. Will be very humid out there, and any of those storms will bring the risk for some flash flooding. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that at least over the next couple hours here. The high this afternoon near 80 degrees. Then for the rest of tonight, we turn out clear and cooler. Definitely pleasant weather for sleeping out there. We're going to head down to a low of 60 degrees. Now for tomorrow, it's going to be a nice day, partly sunny, much less humid out there. With a high tomorrow up to 86, we'll end up mainly clear and comfortable tomorrow night, low 62. And for Wednesday, clouds and just a few breaks of sunshine, high of 86. The humidity will make a return as we head into Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with an afternoon thunderstorm in spots. The high Thursday, 87. Right now it's 77 in Avon, 76 degrees in Granby, and we're at 78 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
When a contractor needed to quickly lock down valuable equipment on site, they called the leader in mobile storage, Eagle Leasing. We delivered a clean, watertight storage container exactly where they needed it. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
When a contractor needed convenient office space on their job site, they called the leader in mobile offices, Eagle Leasing. The next day, we delivered a clean, high-quality office trailer and put it exactly where they needed it. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Reese on the radio, and August 14th is my birthday, and I want to spend it with you. So we're taking the show on the road for a special birthday broadcast. We'll be broadcasting live from Stadium 15 in Farmington, Connecticut from 2 to 6. Maybe there'll be an after party. Who knows? So make plans to hang out, listen to the show, have some food, some drinks, and help me celebrate my birthday. It's the 14th at 15. Stadium 15 in Farmington from 2 to 6 on Friday, August the 14th. Hope to see you there.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
This was a gift from Craig in the car. I don't know why, but it's either he got it for me or I picked this up from, I apologize, wrong person. I bought this from a place called Grunt Style. You can actually find a store probably in the mall, or you can go online. It's called Grunt Style. But yeah, the shirt I'm wearing is called Dad Bod. I love this shirt. I have a lot of Grunt Style shirts, but this one's in particular because it's in the font of G.I. Joe. Anyway, all right, back to Joe. Joe, I apologize for all of that. What do you got for me again?
I just wanted to mention about Mandami.
Okay.
Because as we're talking about voting and people who shouldn't be voting and bad voting records and bad voting registrations, here's a guy who just announced that if you want to buy food in a government supermarket, guess what you need to have?
An identification.
Exactly. I'm a poor person, and I want to buy food for less money that's subsidized by the government, and I have to have ID, but if I can buy the food, why can't I use that same ID to register to vote? Obviously, I can.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know when some of our Republican politicians are going to, especially Ryan Fazio. I know it's midsummer. I know there's going to be a sprint, and he's probably waiting for the primary to be over.
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff that is just sitting right there up on a tee, ready for him to nail.
Yeah.
And I just wish he would get away from the whole Eversource thing. Eversource
I
is a
caught him doing a
publicly traded company.
I heard him doing a little bit other than the Eversource thing, but I get your point. I know a lot of people are saying it's like the Eversource thing is like, yeah, we know. It is something to harp on, but we have some other things that we can address. I know he's listening, and I know his team is listening. They're going to get on it. They better. Otherwise, I'm going to be quite upset. In fact, I'm very close to somebody who's working with this campaign, and I'm sure they're paying attention.
Okay. I made the comment earlier to someone, or to a group of people, I should say, about the no-toll CT thing that we went through.
Yeah.
I think that was so telling as to the intellect of the average voter. There were so many people who did not know that Lamont and the legislature were trying to push through tolls until they drove up the street and Patrick Sasser had a lot of his people out there on street corners with signs yelling at people, no tolls. These people admitted they had no idea this was occurring. And I think we constantly lose sight of that. And using the example I called in with earlier, we have to stop assuming that people are as smart as the people who listen to your show.
Agreed.
And that includes Democrats. The Democrats that listen that we may not agree with, they're trying. They're engaged. I respect them, although I may not like them or what they say. But there's a lot of total airheads out there that are not focused, and we need to somehow get them, to really focus in on, okay, here's what's happening.
Yeah.
We have a lot of illegals that are voting, and the Democrats are covering it up. They're stealing elections. This is going to end badly. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or show videos of Quetta. Say, this is what it looks like when illegal immigrants storm the border.
Yeah. And again, somebody told me the other day, they're not showing it on CNN or MS Now. And I said, but no one's watching CNN and MS Now, so it doesn't matter. They're showing it on Fox every day. Trust me, liberals see it. Liberals see it. If you ever want to understand how out of touch Democrats are, they're so out of touch they don't know that liberals watch Fox News more than they watch their coveted and loved MS Now and CNN.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. I went to the Electric Avenue MTV concert in Simsbury on Friday. And if I could be so bold, if you were there, I want to thank all of you for showing my wife and I a great time. Now, I got it. I got plenty of other stuff to get into, and I will. And I want to take this opportunity to kind of celebrate folks there. If you didn't get to go, and you didn't go, it sucks that you didn't. But I got to tell you, so this group, Electric Avenue, I'd never heard of them before. They perform with the Hartford Symphony Orchestra. And they do nothing but 80s songs. And I didn't know what to expect. I expected to hear elevator music versions of my favorite 80s songs. That's what I was expecting. But Electric Avenue did nothing of the sort. They went out there and they kicked a hornet's nest. It was so good, so much fun. I don't think I've had that much fun watching a cover band in my life, because that's what they were. They sang all the hits. But can I tell you what I love the most? And I don't know if anybody got this or really cared about it, but I did. They performed every one of the 80 songs like it was recorded in the studio without missing a note. Like the song that you heard, they did not deviate from the recorded song. They just played it with the orchestra in the background as well, with a little bit of that gravitas in the background. That band played every note from every 80s hit. They did not deviate. And the lead singer, I'm not familiar with him, did well. I'll go so far as to say he was fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic. If there was one bad thing that I could mention, and everyone made a thing about it, they said, you just don't do Prince. You don't do a Prince record. Now, what song did he do? He didn't do When Doves Cry. That would have been difficult. He didn't do, I don't know, what's another big, he didn't do Purple Rain. May have been sacrilegious to do that. He did what I thought was a smart and safe move when you are doing a Prince record. He did Let's Go Crazy. And it was good. But people felt like there was something. Somebody felt like he had broken a golden rule. Like everybody kept saying the same thing as I posted it online. Everybody said, dude, you just don't do Prince. Why would he do a Prince song? He shouldn't even touch the Prince song. I guess they would have said the same thing if he had done Michael Jackson. But I guess Prince is just kind of deified as an artist. You just can't do it. And you can't do it if you're, dare I say it, I don't mean to be racist here or to throw race in it, but if you're a white band, some people may take issue with it. By the way, the only people who took issue with it were white people who obviously adore Prince. And so if you ever step on the sacred ground that is Prince, they have a problem with it. I didn't think it was so bad. I mean, if you're going to touch a Prince song, Let's Go Crazy is a safe place to go. It's a rock record. It's a dance record too, but it's a rock record. But it's a good record. Now, I have to admit, the guitar, I would say the lead guitar player who actually played the song note for note was brilliant. Everyone agrees. They said, the guy who actually played the guitar solo at the end knocked it out of the park. He did. And the band was great. But other than that, everything was cool. We bounced when he started Radio Gaga. Well, we stayed for Radio Gaga. And then they brought him back out for an encore. And he did, of course, Don't You Forget About Me, which I would have loved to have stayed at. But I've heard that song a million times, even by cover bands. I'm kind of over it. But he did Radio Gaga, and he did that well. You know, I would think they would be more upset about doing Freddie Mercury than they would about Prince. But apparently, you know, the latter is true. But, yeah, he did Radio Gaga, and he did a great Radio Gaga. I thought it was appropriate that I leave during Radio Gaga, which is officially the last song until they did the encore. And then they did Fireworks. But the crowd was massive, and that was the reason for my original statement. Not only was the crowd massive, it was thousands of people. I mean, it was an endless sea of people there. And the people who walked all the way up front to dance in front, it was like being at a real concert with a real band. Well, they are a real band, but you know what I mean. They were dancing Like they didn't even care it was a cover band. That's how good it was. You felt like you were still in the 80s listening to the actual people who sang the songs. And it was so much fun. The energy was real. I actually got up and danced. I did. I danced a few times. Okay, I danced twice because the wife made me. Sometimes I just stood there and just kind of twirled her around until she got dizzy. I was hoping she'd get dizzy. No, spin, honey. Keep spinning. No. Don't stop. It's all you, sweetheart. They're looking at you. Then she'll get dizzy, and then she'll be forced to sit down. But it was fun. It was really, really a great show. And I got to do it again. If there's another concert that happens like this at a state fair or anything, I'm going. It was so much fun to hang out with people from Connecticut, and thank you, all of you who stopped and recognized us. That was weird. We stopped and shook hands with a lot of people. That was fun. You know, people walking up and saying, hey, are you Reese on the radio? And I'm like, yeah, weird. But Simsbury Joe and Mark Walsh, Mark from West Hartford, were obviously somewhere back in the crowd, and they could see me at the front row where all the tables were. And Mark, who is kind of funny, says the only reason he could spot me was because I was a pepper flake in a salt shaker. That's not the way he put it, but let's just say he saw me because I was kind of the only black guy there, and I'm 6'3". It's like kind of the only black guy there. So think about it. It's thousands of people. Mark is all the way in the back. He's looking at the front. He sees a tall black guy with a baseball cap on, and he goes, there's Reese. He did not need facial recognition. He knew it was me. He goes, I know that's Reese. There's no doubt in my mind that that's Reese. It's a black guy in a crowd in Simsbury. It can only be Reese. He could tell the police officers with certainty, sir, how far away were you? I was 2 football fields away, sir, in the dark. And I know it was Reese. And they would walk up to me and say, Reese, were you in Simsbury on Friday evening? And I would go, yeah, how'd you know? White guy saw you in the crowd. I was like, yeah, but where was this white guy? 2 football fields away, sir. Spotted you like a sore thumb. So thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. He and Simsbury Joe were texting each other. I see Reese. He's 790 yards away, but I've seen him. I see him clearly. But yeah, so I really had a great time, and thank you guys for noticing me from afar. You should have called me. If you'd have called me, we'd have walked back there to go hang out with you. Because that crowd was massive. It didn't turn into a mosh pit, but walking through it was not pleasant. It wasn't. And as Joey would say, my what did he call it? He said my core audience was in the front of was dancing in the was dancing at the front of the stage. So it was fun. But to hear all those people, to see all those people walk up to me and say, hey, are you Reese on the radio? And I had to stop them and just like, hey, you know who else is here? Roseanne's here. So I kept pawning them off on Roseanne. It was like, hey, look, Roseanne's here too. Not that I didn't want to see you. I was just, I didn't want Roseanne to be like, like everybody shaking their hand over her husband and acting like she wasn't there. I was just like, hey, Roseanne here. But the ladies, they loved her. And it was just it was adorable. Because there's one woman who was literally like freaking out. We walked past her. She was like, is that Reese? I'm like, yeah, hi. We're always taken aback about your excitement to see us. So we appreciate you. But again, a great band. Later on in the show, Spider-Man review and Southern Tree, which is going to be the episode 2 of Family Dinner with Reese and Roseanne. So stand by for that. And much, much more. Plus, we'll talk about CNN, Dana Bash, and Robert Kennedy Jr. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, what'd you think?
300. I didn't see it. $355 million domestically, $927 million worldwide. Second highest opening box office in the history of box office.
What was first, Endgame?
Yeah, Avengers Endgame, $1.22 billion. That was back in 2019.
And this is the opening weekend, so it is guaranteed to do far better.
Yeah, and the budget for the movie was $255 million, so they made $927 worldwide.
Damn.
So the folks, folks at Marvel Studios are
they're printing money.
Yeah, they really are. Pretty amazing weekend. Unbelievable. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, 84 eastbound, slowing 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. If you are heading on the southbound side of I-91, we have an accident now in Windsor. It's southbound 91 at 38. The right lane is shut down there. Delays are back to 40, the Bradley Connector. 291 westbound slowing approaching the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. If you are heading into Middletown, 9 southbound's a little slow at the Oregonian. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing approaching 17 to the Mixmaster. And we do have some road closures we want to tell you about right now because of the bad weather today. In Columbia, Route 87 shut down between Lake Road and Whitney Road. Trees and wires down there. Middlebury, Route 64 shut down at Upper Whittemore Road. Tree and wires down. And in Southington, Route 322 shut down at Old Mountain Road. Once again, trees and wires down there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon into early this evening, it will be cloudy and very humid out there with a few showers and even a heavy thunderstorm. There will be the risk for flash flooding as well, especially in urban areas. The high this afternoon, 79. Then we turn out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight with a low down to 60. Some sunshine in store for tomorrow, less humid with a high of 86. Then we turn out mainly clear and comfortable for tomorrow night with a low of 62. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The boil water advisory put in place in Waterbury as a result of last week's water main breaks has been lifted. City says it got the all clear from the South Central Regional Water Authority on the water quality samples as of about 4:25. This comes after dual water main breaks on Tompkins Street last week disrupted thousands of residents and businesses. Residents are encouraged to run their faucets in order to allow the clean water to flush through their systems. President Trump says he's about at his wit's end when it comes to Iran making a deal to end the 5-month-old war.
I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. It's very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens.
Trump says the two sides are resuming talks to wind down the war, but Iranian officials claim that their diplomatic efforts were more focused on neighboring nations. State Attorney General William Tong says Connecticut is one of over 24 states suing the White House again over tariffs. Here's WTIC's Dave Mager.
President Trump's tariffs have lost in court twice before, including at the Supreme Court, leading to the U.S. refunding $166 billion to American companies. But using a new legal justification, he's back with more sales taxes, this time of up to 12.5% on goods from 80 countries. Trump says he's fighting forced labor. Tong says the new policy doesn't even do that, and Trump is once again overreaching his authority. The AG says, quote, 2 losses in court should have been enough to get the message across, but Trump still can't seem to grasp that he is not above the law. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Been calls for an investigation into whether the company at the center of the cyclosporiasis outbreak used ties to the White House to sway the investigation. The ranking member on the House Oversight Committee alleged private meetings between the White House and Taylor Farms. Senator Richard Blumenthal says there's a reason there should be an investigation.
Taylor Farms contributed $1 million to a Trump PAC and then called the White House to delay the recall of lettuce contaminated with cyclospora.
Now, the White House responded by saying that even inferring they'd ever compromise the health and safety of Americans is absolutely false. First 2 deaths linked to the outbreak were reported in Michigan. Early voting for the Connecticut primaries is now underway, runs through Sunday. Governor Lamont facing a challenge within his party by Hamden State Representative Josh Elliott. In an appearance in Newington today, Lamont assured residents that Connecticut's election process is safe from all kinds of threats.
We make sure that ICE is far away and nobody can intimidate you. They're not getting a hold of our voter rolls. Don't let them cast any aspersions. This is America. This is Connecticut. This is Newington. We vote with integrity. And democracy works best when you have a stake in the outcome.
And in addition to choosing nominees for the General Assembly in some districts, Democratic voters in the 1st Congressional District will choose their nomination for U.S. House in November. Primary day is 1 week from tomorrow. A Major League Baseball trade deadline is about an hour from now, 6 Eastern. L.A. Dodgers were up to their old tricks again, snatching 2-time defending Cy Young winner Tarik Skubal. And a trade with the Detroit Tigers. Some are screaming for a salary cap, with L.A. outspending virtually everyone these days. ESPN's Buster Olney reports that's the crux of the talks toward a new labor agreement.
The owners say they want more competitive balance. I think it's more about controlling cost, but that's the reason why they're going for the salary cap. And on the players' side, the leadership is saying we will not allow a salary cap. I think, yes, a lockout of December 1st is inevitable. The question is, will we lose games next spring? It does feel like it's at risk because of the fact there's no middle ground.
Current contract expires December 1st. Wall Street, the Dow up 693 points today, or 1.3%. NASDAQ was up 2%, a little over 2% at 540, and the S&P gained 110 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, back on the show. Okay, so I got to make this 100% clear. I was talking to Curmudgeon, and Curmudgeon let me know that I told you when you heard me ask Curmudgeon earlier, I was saying that something about Curmudgeon was sounding like someone who might know something about law enforcement, and then they indicated to me that I do know who they are. And now I know who they are, and yeah, so they're a legitimate person who does know. And they did confirm something to me, so I'll save that after we do, of course, like we always do. News. It doesn't matter. This will be quick, fast, in a hurry because I don't know any of the people who have birthdays today. Happy birthday to a guy named Key Glock, a Memphis rapper from the Yellow Tape series who turns 29. I have no idea who that is. Sierra Farrell, the American singer-songwriter behind Trail of Flowers, turns 38. I have no idea who that is. Brent Kudsel, bassist and cellist for One Republic, he turns 41. I think I know who that is. Stephen Carpenter, guitarist for the Deftones, turns 56. Don't know him, know the Deftones. And James Hetfield, the frontman and rhythm guitarist for Metallica, turns 63. We'll give him a round of applause. On this day in 1963, the Beatles played their final show at the Cavern Club in Liverpool, and after nearly 300 performances there. 1971, Paul McCartney, ironically, announced his formation of a new band called Wings with his wife, Linda McCartney. In 1973, the blind and my arch nemesis, Stevie Wonder, released the landmark album Inner Visions, even though he cannot see. In 1987, Def Leppard released their multi-platinum hit album Hysteria. And in 1996, the Bayside Boys remix of Macarena by Los Del Rio began its 14-week run at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. So 1996, also a year that sucked in music. Mark Christopher's back. He is at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hello, Mark.
Hey, good afternoon, Reese. Good afternoon, everyone. If you are heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report is being brought to you by Amplify CT. And we have an accident 91 southbound that's taking out the right lane at 38 Pequannock Avenue. So right now, you're seeing delays back to exit 40, the Bradley Connector behind that. If you're traveling southbound 91, a little tight down by exit 23 in Rocky Hill, with an accident reported there. If you're traveling 84 westbound, slowing from the tunnel downtown out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 291 westbound is slowing, approaching the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. If you are heading into Middletown right now, 9 southbound's a little slow at the Aragodi Bridge. 91 south losing speed from 18 to 17 in Meriden. 84 eastbound in Cheshire slowing from exit 26 down to the 691 interchange. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing, approaching 17 to the Mixmaster. We do have some road closures this afternoon, and right now you've got road closure in Columbia. Route 87 shut down between Lake Road and Whitney Road. Tree and wires down. Middlebury, Route 64 shut down at Upper Whittemore Road. Tree and wires down there. And in Southington, Route 322 is shut down at Old Mountain Road because of tree and wires down at that location. This summer, remember that getting outside to play reduces stress, boosts moods, and sharpens focus. Encourage your kids to press pause and go play to take care of the mind and body. It works. Visit amplifyct.org for more ideas to amplify your mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, we're going to have a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm around through the rest of this afternoon into the early evening. Otherwise, we are going to see some clearing out there. Still on the humid side, we'll head up to a high of right around 79 degrees and turning out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight. It will be rather pleasant out there. Low tonight down to 60 degrees. Tomorrow turns out partly sunny, a less humid day overall. Really just a great day to be outside. The high up to 86. And then we turn out mostly clear. Another comfortable night for tomorrow night. Low down to 62 degrees. Then as we get into Wednesday, we'll have clouds and a few breaks of sunshine. The high up to 86. The humidity returns for Thursday with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Just a stray thunderstorm in the afternoon. The high Thursday, 87. For Friday, humid once again, clouds and sunshine. There will be a couple of gusty afternoon showers and a thunderstorm with a high Friday up to 88. Right now it's 78 degrees in East Hartford, 79 in Canton, and we're at 79 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hartford, we've got a problem. Home care is in crisis and there aren't enough caregivers to meet the demand. So if you've got a loved one with Medicaid or is eligible who needs care, don't wait. Freedom Care will help you get care at home from someone you already trust. A family member who lives with you and not your legal spouse can get paid to help with everyday needs like meals, medication, bathing, and mobility. If you have Medicaid, it's 100% free to you. No waiting lists, just real care from your people right now. Freedom Care handles it all, training, payroll, and support, so you can stay safe and comfortable at home. And your caregiver gets paid, guaranteed, with 97% satisfaction and over 150 million hours of care delivered. Hartford families are already making the switch to care at home. Take care of your own and get paid with Freedom Care. Call 860-530-5203. That's 860-530-5203. Call now. 860-530-5203. 860-530-5203.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
From politics to news to music to movies and anything above the sun and outer space and beyond, it's Reese on the radio. Damn, he's good. Only on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, Reese on the radio. We're back. I'll get to your phone calls in a second, so stand by. Again, that number, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. So I was talking about this case in the opening monologue, if you're just joining us on the road. The thing that was interesting about all of this was Stephanie Thomas, the Secretary of the State. She blamed everyone but the folks who are responsible for this warrant ever seeing the light of day. And the warrant is what gave the driver's license number. Now, I've been saying since last week, and I posted videos about it, because what I was told, and again, I don't consider myself some, Mickey Spillane here. I'm not Columbo. Just questions will come to me and I go, well, wait a minute, what about this? And this is what was bothering me. When I read the affidavit, I hear that the officers do something I'm not familiar with, and that is go through the NCIC/collect program that is installed on officers' computers in their cars. Now, I know that officers can go there and look stuff up, but I don't know what system they use. I'm not a cop. I've never asked, and I've never had the reason to ask. But I'm learning on the fly. And when I read in the affidavit that they checked the date of birth and the name through this system, I immediately look up, what does this system do? And it says, when you pull somebody over, you check to see if their information actually, it agrees with the actual information you have in the system. So if I have a fake ID and I hand it to the officer, a fake driver's license, they can go in the system based on my name and find out, it's like, that looks phony. And if I have a fugitive in my clutches, I know that, okay, the guy's lying to me and I'm going to lock him up, right? If he's got a warrant, I'm going to find it there, right? If there's something that I need to be aware of about this individual, I'll know right there on the fly. I have all the tools. And this NCIC thing. So I look up and I say to myself, tell me about this system. And the system says that when the officer looks up your information, they get a photograph, a physical photograph of the person they're looking up. And so I go one step deeper and I said, okay, but this officer wasn't there. This officer is off-site. And then I keep reading. And it says that the officer that looked up the NCIC on Melissa Ramirez gets to the hospital and physically questions in front of her. So he's seen the NCIC collect digital printout that involves not just a description, but the photograph on her ID. I just got that confirmed from Curmudgeon, who I can verifiably say knows what he's talking about. I'm going back and forth with what I said. I don't want to see him as adversarial, but he's questioning, and the way he's going about it is like, okay, this guy clearly knows more than I do. He sounds like somebody in the field. Yep, he is. He's in the field. He's done this before. He knows it. And then he certifies the one question I have. Does the collect system show you a picture? And I can read to you right here, confirmed by the person I know who is in law enforcement. Yes, you are right. It shows a picture of the individual, which begs the question, folks, how they get it wrong. They look at NCIC collect. It is written several times in this warrant, in this affidavit. Several times it was used. Not just used on the perp, but also used in identifying the victims. That's right. The off-duty police officer and his girlfriend. They used it. It was a reliable tool. And that's how they found out. How do you get it wrong? To me, that explains the 11-day gap from July 13th all the way to the 24th. That's 11 days with the driver's license still on there before you get a press release. You had physical, verifiable information that says that person is that person. Unless you're telling me now that the police officer who looked at it, who put it in the affidavit, said they all looked alike. Which, by the way, a reporter said to me, and I quote, maybe they look alike. Yeah, a reporter actually said that to me. And I'm like, Truth says, you sound like Columbo, though. I know. I'm watching way too many of these darn, like, what's his name? What's the show that Raymond Burr was on? I can't remember the darn show. Yeah, was that, the woman in, no ID. Yeah, it's insane. Anyway, let me get to the phones. Tom, he's in Bristol. How you doing, sir?
Good. Thanks for taking my call, Reese.
My pleasure, sir.
Can I, today's the opening day for voting.
Yes, first day for early voting. Yes, sir.
And I just wanted to comment on the 5th district. Really, really important district. I heard your interview with Chris Shea.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a good guy. I know Jonathan. I know his heart is, he's really a true conservative. And but what I feel though is that Jonathan can win the cities.
Mm-hmm.
He can win Danbury, he can win Waterbury, he can win New Britain. And, with so many unaffiliated voters, he can sway. Both he and his wife are really good campaigners.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting people that, wouldn't even think about voting Republican to vote Republican.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Chris could do that. I hate to talk about identity politics, but there's political realities.
Okay.
And Jonathan can. I think we haven't had a Republican in that district for almost 3 decades now, and over about 25 years. And I think that he could win that district, and we could have a Republican in Congress if people, if he wins this primary. And I know it's a long shot because Chris is the more appealing to, Republican voters.
Establishment?
Yeah, establishment. Yeah. I know he doesn't like to identify as an establishment Republican,
I know.
but that's the way he's perceived.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to win. He's not going to beat Johanna Hayes, but Jonathan can. That's why I think if you're on the fence about going out to this primary, Jonathan could win that district. He could beat. He could be a Republican. Imagine that, a Republican in Congress from Connecticut.
What could possibly now? I'll go so far as to say this, right? I cannot say that I know much about Chris Shea's campaign strategy as far as like on the ground level, right? How he's knocking on doors, how he's actually mobilizing votes in his favor. I know that one of the members of his campaign manager is Brock, and Brock I know well. This guy he lives and breathes campaigns. He knows them. I would not consider him a hack in this way. I would consider him somebody who lives and breathes what I would describe as establishment politics, in essence, following the rules and kind of coloring outside of the lines when necessary. That I believe. Okay. However, what you said about Jonathan DeBarros is true. He and his wife are real grassroots campaigners. They knew to get in early. They knew to create a ground game that put them ahead of any primary challenge ever. Like, he wasn't going to just show up with 15% and then fade into obscurity, as it were. He's made this competitive to the point that it has gotten ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's politics.
Yeah, that's politics. But I said it would have never been ugly if it wasn't competitive, if either side didn't see each other as and I use that term loosely, a political threat.
Right.
But I'll say this about Jonathan. In order for Jonathan to really, really make some headway in any real way, he's not only got to beat Chris Shea as far as the numbers are concerned, he's got to embarrass the establishment in this way. I'm sorry, it's just true. And I don't mean that against either one, but I'm saying the way that Jonathan is running this campaign, in order for him to be viable, right, so when he goes into this, he has got to make the establishment come to him if he wins, because I feel like there's been so much bad blood that even if he wins, they won't they won't back him. But he has got to make this an undeniable win, that they have to sort of turn tails and go, okay, kid, you made your point. Now we back you.
Right. I think he'll do that. I think he's got enough, and he's intelligent enough. He's going to pivot towards them to help him get the Republican, the regular Republican. But he's also got that dynamic that Chris doesn't have to win the unaffiliated vote. So,
the only thing I hope, I'll tell you this, and from the bottom of my heart, what I really am looking for and I want to see at the end of the day is that, and I looked at both of them and I asked the simple question, is there going to be any love lost after this is over, right? Is it going to be about the main goal, about winning? I looked at both of them, and I'll tell you from my assessment, again, I feel like they're not going to. I really don't. And although they should, I think that
they should. Both men claim to be Christians, so I'm going to appeal to both of them. Look, you got to forgive and forget.
Exactly.
If you really you really believe in Jesus, you got to give up the grudge, and you got to go.
And you got to win. And exactly, you got to go win against Hayes. That's what it's got to be.
Right.
That's what it's got to be.
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the call.
Okay.
You got it. Let's go, Pete. Pete, what's going on, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, Reese.
Hey, man.
Let's not forget that Kamala Harris called Joe Biden a racist, then she ended up running as his vice president. So, yeah,
Good point.
Once this is over, gentlemen up there, let's put our arms down and remember, we're all in the same team here and we're all pulling in the same direction.
That's right.
That's not the reason why I called. There was a story circulating, I don't know, maybe about a week or so, maybe even better ago, that dealt with state Democrats who were threatening Yale University.
Yes, I brought it up.
Yeah, to take away their tax-exempt status.
Correct.
If in fact they went along with the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Okay.
And settled with the Trump administration by not engaging in what do you call it? In affirmative activism in admissions.
Right, their admissions practices, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the Supreme Court had ruled 6-3 that's a violation of the Equal Protection Act.
Correct.
And yet we here in the state of Connecticut have Democrats, okay, threatening a university that if you do go along with the Supreme Court, we're going to take away your tax-exempt status.
Yes.
Can someone please explain to me, okay, how that is not being kings? Can someone please explain to me how that is democracy? That this is the party that's worried about Donald Trump, okay, taking away democracy. Have we heard anything about that story? Has it gone anywhere else?
No, other than here, we talked about it, and we also called every Democrat who's involved in this for a statement. Not one person said a word. And here's the crazy part. You promised that not only are you going to tax Yale, which, by the way, they don't do, right? They don't even take savings. Like, we'll actually take money from you. But they also said that they would threaten them with, I guess they wouldn't be able to choose their board members anymore without the approval of the state. In some place, it was literal. I don't even remember the second part of it, but you're 100% right. Matt Blumenthal, son of Richard Blumenthal, was engaged in the letter that was written to them and said to them, which in essence, it's nothing short of extortion.
It's extortion. Exactly. That's what it is.
I thought it was insane. And this went public, and not one person batted an eye.
Well, I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious as to why the Republicans here in the state haven't picked that ball up.
No, they did. They
bit,
did. They did. The Republicans released a statement, but again, per usual, nobody in the media even bothered to print it. But they put out a press release.
Yeah, but it's crickets now. I mean, that's something now. It seems like they just talk about it and then they drop it and then they move on.
Yeah,
exactly. In my opinion, okay, that's a pretty big story when you start, extorting people.
Exactly.
To violate the Supreme Court.
Indeed, sir. Thanks, Pete. I appreciate you. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's back. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading on the southbound side of I-91 coming into Hartford, just a little slowdown as you move down between exit 36 and 35, and you'll see some delays again moving down into Rocky Hill. Down by exit 23 West Street, we have an accident. Looks like the right lane's out there. Delays are back to exit 25 S&N behind that. Eastbound 84 slowing 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. 291 westbound slowing approaching the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. It is quiet in Middletown. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing from exit 17 up to the Mixmaster. If you're heading into New Haven, 95 southbound delays 46 down to 44. And if you're traveling into Columbia right now, we have a road closure. Route 87 is shut down between Lake Road and Whitney Road. Tree and wires down there. Middlebury, Route 64 shut down at Upper Whittemore Road. Tree and wires down there. And in Southington, same story. Route 322 shut down at Old Mountain Road. Tree and wires down there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather cloudy and very humid for the rest of this afternoon into early this evening. We'll have a couple of showers and even a heavy thunderstorm around. Some of those storms will bring torrential downpours that can lead to flash flooding, especially in those urban areas. The high this afternoon up to 79. Then we turn out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight with a low of 60, partly sunny and less humid tomorrow with a high up to 86. For tomorrow night, mainly clear and comfortable. So we head down to a low of 62. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. The boil water advisory is over in Waterbury. The city announced it was lifting the advisory as of 4:25 this afternoon after it received the results of tests on the water. The advisory was put in place following a pair of water main breaks last week on Tompkins Street. A body found in New Haven's West River over the weekend is that of a teenager who went missing last week. Fishermen Sunday spotted the remains of King Best. The medical examiner confirmed the ID. The 13-year-old jumped into the river in the wee hours last Thursday and did not resurface. Police in East Hartford say a pedestrian was seriously injured following a motor vehicle crash in town today. Incident occurred in the 300 Main Street area. There's no word on the victim's name. Main was closed northbound at Brewer for that investigation. After calling off a fresh round of strikes against Iran, President Trump announced that new talks to wind down the war would start, but Iranian officials are claiming that their diplomatic efforts are focusing on neighboring nations. Two Republican senators who threatened to block Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's bid to lead the Justice Department say they'll vote to advance his nomination. That announcement today ending an impasse over that so-called anti-weaponization fund. And sources say that Iran may be linked to cyber attacks against nations' water systems. Hackers are said to have worked to compromise wastewater safety in at least 7 states. Mick Mulroy is the former Assistant Defense Secretary for the Middle East.
Our water treatment facilities are something that are likely have looked at, and they are vulnerable because a lot of our systems that run these operations at these facilities are pre-cyber warfare, quite frankly. So the systems were put in place before that was a consideration. So we should take this as a wake-up call.
Dow gained 693 points today. The NASDAQ picked up 540, and the S&P was up 110. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Let's be real. With Trump in the White House, times have been tough.
But in Connecticut, thankfully, we've had a governor who put his foot down and protected us from the chaos. When Donald Trump cut health coverage, Lamont capped insulin costs, canceled medical debt for working people, and restored the health care funding our families depend on. Now he's working towards universal health care. While ICE creates chaos nationwide, Governor Lamont's passed laws banning ICE from our schools and places of worship.
ICE, go home. We're keeping Connecticut safe without you.
And as Trump cut taxes for billionaires, Governor Lamont's cutting taxes for the middle class, with new plans to make sure big corporations paid their fair share.
And we're trying to make life a little less expensive for working families in the middle class.
With Trump in the White House, we need a governor with the experience and the backbone to fight back. That's Ned Lamont.
I'm Ned Lamont, candidate for governor, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ned for CT. Approved by Ned Lamont.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Hey guys, Reese on the radio here, and tomorrow I am going to be going over a July 29th, 2026 audit summary of the Connecticut Auditors of Public Accounts and the Department of Economic and Community Development, also known as the DECD, plus the Social Equity Council Office of Workforce Strategy. And this report is scathing. It is bad. You might remember that I had a few gentlemen here. I had Bernard and Harold, as well as Normando. They are developers as well as contractors, construction business owners who were here on the program. I spoke to them for a lengthy time about what's going on with money being dispersed and opportunity being dispersed for minority businesses here in the state. And this report that came out and covered by the CT Inside Investigator, the Connecticut Inside Investigator, talks about a lot of money and a lot of mismanagement and a lot of non-reporting. And so we'll get into this. I'm going to talk to Harold, perhaps to get him back into the studio tomorrow so we could talk about this report. And they were forewarned that this report was coming out. And they do want to discuss it. So we might have Harold on tomorrow. Harold Foley, who was on the program last 2 weeks ago. We might have him back on. Also, tomorrow we'll talk about, of course, our new series, which is called Family Dinner with Reese and Roseanne. If you want to check out an excerpt, I put it together last night because it was a funny thing that happened while we were filming yesterday. You can check that out by going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. No, sorry, not ReeseOnTheRadio.com. I apologize. Yeah, you can just go to Reese on the Radio on Facebook. You could go there so you can watch the dinner with Family Dinner with Reese and Roseanne teaser that's on there. And it's pretty funny. We had a great time with the folks there. And we'll have KC as a guest on the show. He's a phenomenal young man, originally from the Bronx, and has lived now, I think, in the Waterbury area for about 16 years. I can't wait to have him on. The guy's 31 years old, and he made me get up early this morning talking to this guy. I talked to him forever, and all I wanted to do was just listen to him. And after I talked to him, I was up early this morning just because of how inspiring he is. I can't wait to share this kid with you. You're going to be so excited about this guy. Anyway, no, it was not the Rockford Files, and it wasn't Ironside. It was the lawyer one. Mark, you know what? Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. He would know the lawyer. What was the TV show Raymond Burr played the lawyer?
Was it Ironside?
He's a cop in a wheelchair in Ironside.
Oh.
It was oh, goodness. It ain't, why am I forgetting it? I have to look it up now. Raymond Burr plays a lawyer. And it's not Ironside. Perry Mason. Thank you. Thank you, Hal. Perry Mason.
Wow.
I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Perry Mason. There it is. Thank you, Hal. I'm telling you, I wanted to reach in my head and pull out my brain. Mark Christopher's here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. There it is. That's it.
Perry Mason.
Driving me nuts. It was a great theme song.
If the show was out now, there would be billboards on every highway. Billboard. All the lawyers are up there.
Can somebody explain to me why Ja Rule is all over the billboards?
Yeah. They're all up there. All the lawyers are up there on the billboards.
Yeah, but Ja Rule, the rapper, is on there with one of them.
Ja Rule, the little guy?
Ja Rule, the rapper. Yeah, the lawyer says, it says if you were in an accident, put it on me. Oh, it's so corny.
Was Ashanti up on that?
No. Thankfully, she has self-respect.
All right. All right, Reese, there it is. Let's wind it up here.
Yeah.
This was on in Hollis, Queens back in 1969 or so, somewhere in there. Hey, Reese, thanks. If you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 westbound delays Wealthy Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound, little tap of the brakes in the tunnel. 91 southbound slowing between exit 37 and 35 in Windsor. 291 westbound's tight, exit 2 up to the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. If you are traveling 9 southbound, look out for an accident down by exit 30 in Cromwell. Traveling into Waterbury, 84 eastbound delay 17 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And if you're traveling into Middletown right now, both sides of 9 doing very well. We do have some road closures in Columbia. Route 87 shut down between Lake Road and Whitney Road, tree and wires down. Middlebury, Route 64 shut down at Upper Whittemore Road due to tree and wires down there. Southington, Route 322 is shut down at Old Mountain Road, tree and wires down there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Duke's Real Mayo.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about award-winning chefs. Yes, chef. And why they choose Duke's Mayo. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of this afternoon, still on the humid side out there with a high near 80 degrees. Then we turn out clear and cooler for the rest of tonight. It's going to be nice out there with a low down to 60 degrees. Partly sunny, less humid for tomorrow. Not a bad day overall. So we head up to a high of 86. Then it will turn out mostly clear. Another comfortable night for tomorrow night. Low down to 62 degrees. Then as we head into Wednesday, we'll see clouds. Hit a few sunny breaks throughout the day, the high 86. Then it turns uncomfortably humid for Thursday. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. There will be a thunderstorm around during the afternoon, the high Thursday 87. And clouds and sunshine for Friday with a few showers and a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Some of those can bring flooding, downpours, and damaging winds. So an active day for Friday with a high of 88. Right now it's 77 degrees in Bristol, 74 in Middletown, and 79 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, back before we get out of here. Ryan, thank you for holding. I'll get to your call, I promise, in 1 second. Can I make a note about the Connecticut Insider article with that's written by Dan Haar? Can I read something real quick? I just want to read one paragraph, and you could go read it yourself. Melissa Ramirez, a New Britain resident, born on July 1999, is a U.S. citizen, legally registered to vote according to authorities in Danbury and at the office of the Connecticut Secretary of State. I spoke with her on phone Thursday night, Haar writes. He writes this, quote, "It's very stressful, this Melissa Ramirez told me. It's scary that people have my address and my voting records out there thinking that it's someone else." Now that paragraph is very important. This from the New Britain Police Department. NCIC, an in-house inquiry revealed the address of, I'll keep that private, an address that I went to. I immediately recognized it, and I can prove it because it's still on my GPS, and my phone records every place I've ever been. So I have documented evidence that I've been at this address. If you ever see me, I'll show you. However, no contact was made with Melissa there. A past phone number was found for Melissa. However, upon attempting to call it, the line was no longer active. So again, the telephone number that we have on record and the address we have on record, which we went to physically and we called physically. No person with the name of Melissa Ramirez was there. Ever. So for her to say in quote, "It's very scary that people have my address," they do not. Because you don't live there. Nobody has your address. Wherever you are, it ain't on this street. And this is on the voting record. So don't make this about me. Somebody's lying. I'm just reading what I have. Police did welfare check that we, again, death threats, according to the Secretary of State. Death threats. No report. Welfare check. No one's there. Interesting. I'm just saying. Kind of feel like I'm looking for a ghost. Now, let's go to Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for holding. I appreciate you, sir.
No, this is wild. There's a lot of people lying, it sounds like.
Man, I'm just reading what they're replying. You write it, I read it, I give you the evidence that counters all of this. You give me nothing when I ask you.
I just read through the Sentinel just put out their article on everything and laid it out.
The timeline. The timeline.
It sounds like the only thing that they reached out to Danbury Police one more time, and it's like that's the last place for them to hide behind this lie. But after that's confirmed, they're all set. They all agreed on the same lie. I wonder how they cooked it up. You know what I mean? Like, who decided this had to be put in play?
Yeah. Yeah, because now everything's got to be FOIA'd. Everything. Every darn thing's got to be FOIA'd.
Right, unless they're just automatic and they just, know to start doing it like little robots, and they all just start doing what they think they're supposed to do.
But, okay, I'll look at it this way, right? So if I can with you, Ryan, let's kind of go through this. If you and I were just a bunch of Hardy Boys trying to figure this out on ABC on a Saturday afternoon, right?
All right.
So let me say, okay, you be the younger Hardy, I'll be the older Hardy, and I'll say, hey, brother, let me ask you this, okay? Why would they cover this up? What do you think?
Oh, of course. But why, but what's the risk is very big for them on this, and now look.
Right.
Now it's blown up in their face. But, I mean, that's why it's like honesty is always the best policy, right? But it's like, but now they got caught almost, they have 5 minutes before, the Danbury police probably confirmed everything in total. But it really does seem that they all just got caught and there's nowhere to hide, especially Dan Haar.
Yeah, my whole deal is all you have to do in all of this is just say, okay, we were trying to protect the integrity of our voter rolls, but it looks like somebody, because that's the only reason why. That's the big get. Because they're more concerned about the integrity of our voter rolls than they are about whether or not this was Danbury police putting the wrong person on a warrant.
Right. Now, but who was first, Stephanie or Dan Haar? Dan Haar?
According to Mr. Haar, he interviewed this Melissa Ramirez before the press release and the video statement from Stephanie Thomas.
So I'm guessing he didn't just make up on his own to the side, like, I'll make up this story on my own. I feel like he probably had a conversation with someone. I just feel like that's not something you just, a lazy reporter's just going to be like, oh, I contacted her.
It sounds...
That's it.
Look,
that doesn't sound, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like someone probably... that there's nothing that he got out of that unless he's doing a favor for someone that's covering up the immigration side of it.
The article has 2 quotes from someone who is in a misidentification case that involves the death of a cop and voter rolls. And there are only 2 quotes. This is scary, and I can't believe somebody has my address and voting records out there. That's the quote. Never once in the interview with Dan Haar does she make the claim that she's receiving death threats. It's not in the article. Stephanie Thomas goes so far to say that she is receiving death threats, which begs the question, what death threat is she receiving? Hey, Melissa Ramirez, I don't want you to exist on this planet because you may have voted in 3 elections. Or, hey, Melissa Ramirez, you're responsible for killing a cop because you were drunk driving and killed this woman who has 3 kids. What are you saying? Because if the Secretary of State is trying to say, because you wouldn't inject it, and then talk about voter rolls, You wouldn't inject it and then talk about misinformation about voter rolls unless you were saying that the death threats are related to her voting in 3 elections.
Right.
It is a right? It's a non sequitur. You don't need to talk about the death threats if they're not related to the voting. I would imagine if anyone was thinking about making a death threat to her, and again, wrong to do, but if I'm just a person seeing that, I'm saying, why would she receive a death threat for voting, but not a death threat for drunk driving and killing an officer and a mother of 3?
Yeah. Yeah. Just imagine, like, I mean, she said so much in her video. Her 83-year-old grandmother.
Well, mother now. I didn't realize she didn't.
On her face.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She contradicts herself. She says that, and again, this was dangerous to do, but her 83-year-old mother would have figured it out. Well, which is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honest to God, something's got to be done. I mean, they're pretty much caught out on this, but these are the types of things, because if they're going to lie about this and push a whole agenda, just imagine what else we're not hearing or what else they'll lie to you about and everything like that. And, this is a big problem for Ned, because all his agencies are ran the same way. They all have the same problems. If you're a true leader, you got to take some responsibility here, Ned.
Again, like I said, if there's nothing, there's nothing. But again, there are just too many holes in the story. And that's the point. One, again, Stephanie Thomas saying that this was in any way started by the Connecticut Sentinel or anybody else. That is absolute nonsense. This came directly from the Danbury police. They started this nonsense with putting that driver's license on there. And then the Connecticut Mirror reported it with the unredacted driver's license number, which prompted the investigation by the Connecticut Sentinel and then the piggybacking of Blue Lives Matter. That's where this came from, okay? And nothing was manipulated, doctored, or altered, or used with AI. Never. Which comes from the Secretary of the State, which is absolutely false. To then suggest that this individual was receiving death threats as a result of this misinformation, never stating that because they believe that she is responsible for the death of this police officer and a mother of 3, would then conflate it and suggest that it is because she may have, or many people believe, that she voted in 3 elections, that would prompt a death threat. Almost feels like you're inflating the story by injecting death threats, which, by the way, Dan Haar, in speaking to the woman, getting 2 quotes from her, never says in his story that she's receiving death threats.
Exactly. And then she'll try and play off that like, oh, well, I just assumed from the article I read. Or, they always try and wiggle out of it. But on this one, I don't think they can.
Yeah.
I feel like they're feeling the pressure. They're starting to get sloppy.
Yeah. And again, the other part that I cannot let go of, and this is the part that bothers me the most, and I am not trying to question the competence of the police officers involved. But again, July 13th, you run an NCIC collect database run on the person who gave you the information. My name is Melissa Ramirez, born on July 4th, 1999. A police officer looks that up, and in the NCIC collect data, you see a physical driver's license. That officer who is off-site, who does that check, then meets with, and speaks to the detained and in the hospital, Melissa Ramirez, and does not make the connection that these 2 people are different.
So it's the license photo that pulls up, not just or is it?
I checked. I double-checked 5 different ways this Sunday, and I talked to a law enforcement officer who confirmed that when you look up the NCIC collect information, they do not give you a written description of the individual. You see the license.
Oh, my God. So the license number would be the same.
That's right. So you see the license. You see the person inside the license, right? Your photograph. They have a direct contact. So the police officer now, because remember, if they're pulling you over and you're a dangerous suspect, and think about it. Imagine the NCIC collect information only gives a description, and the person who's in the car that you pulled over has a sneaking resemblance to the individual, and that information says the person is armed and dangerous. The police officer is going to come out with a gun and says, "Get out!" And you're going, "What the hell?"
Right.
Right? So what you do is, to prevent the police officer getting the wrong information, you give him all the access he could possibly have. And that would be a photograph of the said individual.
Yeah, but along with the license number, everything like that. So besides, she's in court tomorrow, but there's no other real way to look at it almost except that it's that person.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
New Britain PD says they think it is anyways in the Sentinel's report.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the voter registration has the ID as well. We got to get up out of here, though, Ryan. Thank you, boss, man.
Yeah, I got you. Absolutely.
All right, man. Thank you for calling, man. You got it. All right, folks, we got to get up out of here. I wish I could read Chris's statement in here, but it's long, and we got to get up out of here. I'll read it, and I'll come back to it tomorrow. In fact, I'll print it for you, Chris, and I'll make sure I read it tomorrow. Let me get up out of here. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you, and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 2 p.m. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Driving Center. Good night, sir.
Good night, Reese. If you're heading on the 9 northbound, or I should say actually 9 southbound, there's an accident in Cromwell.